Welcome to Ironbacks Baseball. I'm Darren Clark here with Jesse Seguin, deep in the heart of place where dreams come true, Merritt, Ontario, just down the street from Milkmaid Convenience Store, Peary's Appliance, and Ole's Ale House. Yes, we're here at George Taylor Field. Once again, the Ironbacks are hosting the Niagara Falls Americans. Jesse, the Ironbacks were whomped here on opening day by these same Americans, but since then, the game's gotten closer.
Games have been way more competitive, definitely over the last couple of weeks for sure. Even the games we just did on Sunday, I think both games were very competitive against each other, right? The Ironbacks I got to see personally my first Ironbacks win here.
The first win against the Americans?
Which was actually an 8-0, but then on the flip side, the Americans ended up winning game 2, 1-0.
Which was a pitcher's duel.
It was a pitcher's duel led by Player of the Week, Aiden Klimchak. Excellent game.
So much fun. The Aiden versus Aiden matchup, Aiden Bray versus Aiden Klimzak, was, from an announcing standpoint of view, a lot of fun and on a really hot day.
Absolutely.
Nice and quick as well.
It was a quick game. It breezed right through it, didn't it, there? And again, he earned his merit. He won Player of the Week this past week there after a game he pitched on Sunday. 1 hit given up. 4 strikeouts, won a full, complete game.
And that the Player of the Week honors brings us to some good news for the Ironbacks this week as our very own Carter Shin.
That's right. It's the first Player of the Week honor for a team outside of the States to be named as well. That's a pretty big honor to be had by Carter Shin.
And we were front and center to see Carter Shin just rip the cover off the ball all week long.
All week, at least the whole season, actually, right? He's been unreal this season.
Yeah, and last night, the Ironbacks lost.
That's right.
But third home run of the season, and a guy we've been talking about for a long time, Andrew Bishop.
Andrew Bishop just tapped into some of that power we've been kind of looking for from him. Just kind of missing some spots there on his swings, and I think yesterday could help him maybe break out a little bit here.
And the third piece of news is Alex Keene was announced to the All-Star team, which is a good thing to bring up now with Grant Moore at the plate from Niagara Falls Americans.
That's right. Also another member of that All-Star team announced yesterday in this Perfect Game Collegiate League. He leads the league with 31 hits, which again says something right here for the pitcher on the mound today for the Ironbacks. Ryan Ficini's going to have his hands tied, I think.
Burlington's own Ryan Ficini.
I don't think we've seen him ourselves in Niagara, but he's got 11.57 ERA. Only a couple of appearances though, so it could be a little misconstrued based on the overall numbers.
We've seen, what's funny? And a guy we should give a shout out to here at midseason, Jaden Corpin.
You're right.
Corpin threw 113 pitches last night.
Incredible, I tell you.
And I think he leads the team in innings.
He
He's
does.
got the stats there.
I can pull it up here in a second there, but he does.
How many times has he kind of saved the rotation? Came in that one game when Ethan Wolf was hurt.
Yep.
Came right out of the dugout into pitching and just gave him a bunch of innings, and he battles each and every time we see him.
That's right. He's pitched 37 innings on the year, so he does lead the Ironbacks in innings pitched. And again, he's done a lot of, as you mentioned, coming in there, kind of do some mop-up duty to keep the games close, Yep. Earlier on in the season, they had a lot of innings or a lot of games where they've been sort of having that one tough inning. They got to get the score out of reach, and he kind of comes in there and kind of settles things down. And his deliveries with his deception and his delays, I think, really throws hitters off quite often. So just a slight delay here in the opening pitch. Seems to be no baseballs ready to go, which seems odd to not have a baseball in a baseball game, but we may be ready to go now. The umpire's behind home plate, and I think we're ready to tee things off.
That's the thing about Grant Moore, we mentioned a lot at the doubleheader. When he gets on first base, he's pretty good bet to steal second base. He leads the league in stolen bases and triples.
And what we've seen, too, is also most likely to steal third base as well. He hits a hot shot to second base. Mador off the chest into center field. And just as Darren alluded to, we could be seeing a stolen base in a mere moment in time.
And I feel for Mador there because that was, as a single, I think, as a brutal hop.
Yeah, what we talk about often is this infield of George Taylor Field seems to do that to a lot of our infielders, to give you the last second change in location.
That ball came off his bat pretty hot and took a wicked hop. That was a tough hop.
It's going to bring Evan Core up to bat here for the Americans.
Now we've got the good old. We got the tough scoring Mal has made an appearance today.
Oh, it's early too, so.
We had a good view of the bat hop, didn't we, Jesse?
We had a pretty decent view, I'd say.
We did. That's pitched by Ficini.
That's a strike there. Corey's the DH today for the Americans, hitting .234 in the year. Moore getting a big lead off at first base. Checks him off again.
I thought he had. Oh, that was close.
That was
you
close.
Saw he buckled his knees immediately after the move.
I think after pitch playing against the Americans every other third day, it feels like. I think you got a pretty good book on Grant Moore potentially stealing.
He's probably still going to steal the base.
He probably will steal the base, but that's a shot pop up, kind of shallow left field there. Briggs is calling off for it. He makes the catch for the first out.
And it took 2 batters for us to get another classic PA announcer overreaction.
Yeah.
Off the bat, it was a There's a pop-up. We should time it. We should actually have a pool. How long before the PA guy overreacts to a pop-up? 2 batters.
You know, it's funny. It makes it hard for us to really know what's going on. As we're looking at our scorecards,
right,
and
you're like, and you're like, what's happening? Is it a home run?
It's just a fly ball to third base, actually. Checks Moore again, just close.
And there's, again.
Obviously, you guys could probably hear us on the microphones that the PA announcer thought he was out, but in fact, Moore was safely into first base.
He was safe, yes. Yeah, he works only in hyperbole.
That's right.
There he goes.
There he goes. Big throw by Gaines. Oh, just bounces. Bounces on the shortstop, DeVecchio, who's playing his first game here for the Ironbacks today.
Yeah, we got a couple new additions to the Ironbacks lineup. We should probably mention them.
That's right. That's right. But as Darren mentioned, Grant Moore does in fact steal second base.
As we anticipated.
That's right.
Kevin Delvecchio is playing short today. Matt Evans is playing center field, both new to the Ironbacks lineup. So it'll be fun to watch them today. That's right. Oh, that was a pretty good looking pitch.
Yeah, that's down low for ball 2. Or ball 1, I suppose. Strike 1.
That's what the scoreboard says.
Yeah.
Scoreboard can't be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it threw me off about 6 or 7 times last game, but that's a huge shot to right field. That's going to send Chase Hubble back for the catch. Grant Moore tags. He's heading to third base. It's going to be 2 out here at the top of the first inning.
Now, that's funny because that one was really ripped to the warning track.
That's right.
No reaction from John. 0.
Probably wasn't paying attention there, so it's going to bring Graydon Miller up, first baseman for the Americans, hitting .346 on the year.
You know what? Graydon Miller's a big fan of.
What's that?
Panda Bears.
Panda Bears. Here, we found the guy we're looking for.
Our favorite panda-loving Niagara Falls American, Graydon Miller.
That's right. We had a big discussion of who the Americans player was that really enjoyed Panda Bears last game.
Yeah, after you left, I realized I saw
eh?
my notes, which I have none of today due to tunnel closures.
That's right. One thing that's constant in Thorold is their Thorold tunnel is usually always under construction.
To live in this area is to know tunnel closures and bridge closures. Right by when you live on just on the other side of a canal.
That's right.
It can be a bit of an issue.
That's right. You never really think about that when you move to the other side of Thorold.
No, you just think, I get to live close to a paper mill.
That's right.
What could go wrong?
What are the odds that people actually communicate with each other? That's a pop fly of Evans there in center field. He's going to be under it for the out. And that's quick work of the Americans in the top of the first. The score still 0-0. We'll be back for the bottom of the second after this. Welcome back here to George Taylor Field. We got the bottom of the first inning. 0-0 score between the Niagara Falls Americans and the Niagara Ironbacks. We got new player to the team, Matt Evans. Center fielder coming to the plate, leading off today for the Ironbacks.
As you can tell by the stop and tom going over the PA, it's not an error. It's another player from Tillsonburg, Ontario.
That's going to be music to your ears, Darren. Anytime you can hear more stomp and com's a good sign.
Can't hear
there.
enough stomp and tom. Also a member of the Canadian Junior National Team.
Impressive.
And attend Nebraska, so we're excited to see him play.
Yeah, we heard from our colleague over there for the Americans team that Evans is a pretty good player. So first time seeing him here today.
Yeah. Andrew giving us the heads up. He also told us Luke Blandino, great name by the way, is one of the better pitchers here for the Niagara Falls Americans. And his stats kind of bear that out. He's got an ERA of 2.67.
Explains to you maybe why he was also named to the Perfect Game All-Star team.
Yeah.
Just the other day.
Really tied up Evans there in on the hands.
It's a quick throw by Ramos to get the first out. Or a 6-3. It's going to bring up Andrew Bishop here playing first base today, batting .256. Again, just talked about it on the opening top of the show there. He hit his first home run for the Ironbacks this year.
Exciting.
It is exciting because, again, you've kind of been waiting for that moment here, I think. You kind of see it in his at-bats.
You always want to see guys kind of tune in to their best possibilities, and you can tell Bishop's been kind of scuffling to a degree. So great to see he really tore into one yesterday.
That's it. And you hope that maybe it gets him a little bit of confidence now and gets things rolling for him, right?
Yep.
Ironbacks can really use his bat in the middle of the lineup. It's a high chopper to Ramos again. Another out for another 6-3 out there for the Americans.
Ramos pretty steady as short. He reminds me of short what Hubble is in center.
Yeah.
Steady.
Steady.
You know? And there's a lot to be said for that. There we go. The first All-Star from the Niagara Ironbacks, Alex Keene.
Alex Keene, again, another player that's just had a season that, you know, hitting power, making hits and timely hits.
And one thing we've alluded to a few times, I think he's done a really good job in the outfield for a guy who hadn't played a ton of outfield.
Yeah, naturally
Mostly
a first baseman, right?
Yeah.
So.
And Dino right over the top with that. Oof.
And when you look at it, too, if you got Shin at the top of your order, you got Keene and Bishop batting in the middle with Butts in there, too. You know, they could be really...
starting to see possibilities,
right?
Absolutely.
Just can't see they all be clicking together right at the same time, right? But...
little hop at the end of that pitch as he dialed up a fastball there to Keene.
Yeah, he's got an interesting delivery as you're watching him here, actually. He's got a little bit of a snappy throw with his arm as he comes in.
I see what you're saying. He almost like a Statue of Liberty play they used to
In a
call,
way.
where he holds it up there for a second before really
just a little bit longer in the back there. It's kind of
like a cat. He almost like a catapult.
Almost,
like
yeah.
It's being released. Yeah.
Almost, yeah. And it gets a really big whip action as it comes down from the hill there to the plate.
You know, and not a lot of. I don't know if you've noticed a big difference on the Americans. Take a look around. Tell me what you notice. It's different.
No high socks for
no
one.
high socks.
Wow. That's the first thing I noticed. No high socks.
Absolutely nobody. I mean, Blandino is the only one with a little bit of socks showing. So obviously there's a team meeting.
That's right.
And they're like, look, we're not hitting. We clearly need to change the way
we got to put our socks down.
Pants.
We got to get our pajama look going.
Yeah.
We got to... Oh. Ball hits the umpire.
What's interesting is I find he actually comes from drastically different angles sometimes. It's like his overhand curve is totally 12-6.
Right.
Whereas the fastball is almost a little more 3/4.
Right. Which makes it very deceptive when it's coming in there, right? But almost at the same time, you kind of know what's coming, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's almost an indicator, but I don't know. I might be. Keep watching. It's interesting to watch.
You're right. That's a chopper again. The Ramos is off the glove. Just as we talked about him being steady down.
Well,
George Taylor Field infield eats that ball up, causing trouble for Ramos.
I don't think it ate that ball up as much as catapulted. Speaking
Right.
of catapulted over Ramos.
We'll wait for the official scoring on that.
Yeah, we'll
one,
see.
but-
Mel's in a bad mood today, so I think he's just going to punish infielders. So that's probably going to be an error.
Let's call it a single for now with an asterisk. And
It's Sour Mel. official
Sour
scoring.
Mel was going to give us the official scoring.
I think it
ruling.
was a single. You call it? Well, the official score is calling it an error, and he doesn't seem very
Wow.
sour. So
Okay.
he seems more objective than Mel.
E6, okay.
E6, all
okay.
right.
As you're talking about
Fair enough.
Tilsonburg, up comes another Tilsonburg, Connor Gatens. Is that correct?
Prodigy? What did you say?
Did I say another Tilsonburg, Connor Gatens, or am I wrong?
Yeah, no,
about-
he's.
okay.
I think so. I don't have my computer here.
No, I get
So I'm gonna have to
confused
go by
with
memories.
Connor Gatens and
Gatens
the.
and Butts. It's one of them. I'm pretty
It's not
sure.
Butts. It's Granger or Gatens.
No, Gatens is.
Whatever it is, I didn't. We'll figure it out as
We'll
the game
figure
goes
it out.
along.
Yes, exactly. Let's get my phone. I don't have my computer
We'll
here.
figure it out as the game goes along. Nonetheless, Connor Gatens is in fact up.
Yes, he is.
DH today. He's hitting 308. Takes a big cut on that one for the second strike.
I really haven't got much of a lick on Blandino yet.
No, he's even got like an interesting left leg stance too. Shot to center
just
field
on
there.
the end of the bat. He
Moore's
just
going
missed
back
that.
for it, but he's going to make the catch, and that goes the Ironbacks for the bottom of the first inning. Score still 0-0 as we head to the top of the second. Hey, welcome back here to George Taylor Field for the top of the second inning. Zeros across the board between the Niagara Falls Americans and the Niagara Ironbacks. We got Shane Prey coming up, third baseman for the Americans, batting .315 on the year. You know, I guess I failed to mention last inning actually that first baseman Grada Miller, also another member of that All-Star team, announced yesterday, playing for the Americans today. He takes the first pitch, swinging up for a single up the middle. And the Americans got a man on base here at the top of the second.
Yeah, Shane Prey shouldn't even have been in the lineup tonight.
That's right.
But Chris Gazaldo, one of our favorite players to watch,
Another
forgot his
member
uniform.
named to that All-Star team as well.
Yeah, and deservedly so.
Had a late inning scratch here, actually. Allowed Prey to get in the lineup, and he
Might
takes
have an eye for a bunt here with Ramos.
She shot to second base there. Quick turn of Amador. Gets the double play.
Got him.
Great play. The crowd is going crazy out here in the double play turn.
Look at that. Look at this defense.
That's right.
That was tailor-made. I don't know if they bunted with Ramos a little bit on the weekend. I was surprised they didn't do that.
maybe it's early in the game, and again, you don't want to take away the speed of Ramos too. He's kind of dangerous on the base pass as well.
Yeah.
It's a first pitch strike there by Ficini to right fielder Carmen Pinero.
Just to clear up that one mystery, Connor Gatens, yes, Tilsonburg.
We should know this by now, but however...
I know, but we're obviously tunnel closures. Tunnel closures.
Yeah, we're thrown off today. I didn't even take the tunnel, and I'm still thrown off for Darren
exactly.
here. So Pinero's batting .300 on the year for the Americans. Big cut, strike 3, and the goes down in order. Zeros across the board as we head to the bottom of the second. Hey, welcome back here to George Taylor Field. We're here for the bottom of the second inning. Again, scores tied 0-0 between the Americans and the Ironbacks. Luke Blandino pitched a pretty good first inning, I think, there against the Ironbacks. You can see maybe why he's made this all-star team, is considered one of their better pitchers for the Americans.
Absolutely. Beautiful night down here at George Taylor Field. If you live in Niagara region, not sure why you're not here.
That's right.
There's just so many darn good reasons to be here. Good crowd tonight, too.
It is bumping, actually. Lots of people here tonight. And again, I think it's the perfect evening. A little cooler. Sun's kind of dipping down a little bit, giving a little bit of shade in the stands here. I think it's exactly kind of what you want looking for a baseball game on a Wednesday night.
And pro tip for somebody coming down to the park, looking to be cool, just sit in front of the press box, nice big shadow cascading down the stands.
Come say hi to us.
Yeah, say hi to us. Wave. We're friendly.
Yeah. That's a first pitch ball to Marcus Butch, the catcher for the Ironbacks, batting .296.
One thing we haven't talked much about Butch is that the base running defense has been a lot better for the Ironbacks of late.
Yes. Yes, and I think, maybe a few weeks ago that was kind of eluding them a little bit, right? And I think the defense, which has sort of been the thing we kind of tipped our hat on earlier in the season there, comes kind of slipping a little bit, giving up some base hits, struggling to get cut runners down, stealing second or third. I think they've shorted up a little bit, and that's maybe got the consistency going for the team a little bit. It's a shallow blooper. Moore with a great sliding catch. All-star Grant Moore with a great catch in center field.
What a great jump on that ball, too, right away. That was in on the hands, not a moment's hesitation. And you've been watching these games like I have so often. When it pitches off the end of the bat or in on the hands, you'll see the outfielders do that one stutter step, which can kill them. Like, you need every single step to make that catch.
And it was dangerous because it was shallow, right?
So great play. Yep.
That's,
Love that. And, you know, the Americans were an adventure in the field there Sunday for that game one.
They were,
which
they?
was totally uncharacteristic for them. So I think we're seeing them get back to, you know, some nice plays by Ramos there in the first inning. I still think that was a tough hop on them.
Yeah, I think maybe you got back to more of their traditional outfield setup for the Americans out there. I think maybe what eluded them on the Saturday game one anyways was having three guys that maybe haven't played together too often.
Yeah.
Getting maybe their signals crossed, their communication's not the same, right?
See if Kip, speaking of people trying to find their best selves, Kip has been kind of looking to find it at the plate here too.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Spoke too soon, Darren. Kip gets his first single here, gets
No,
the
that
Ironbacks
was
to
like,
run around base.
I am correct. He was struggling to find it. That's a great step in the right direction.
That's right. He found it with a base hit right up the gut there. It's going to put a runner on for the new addition, another new addition to the Ironbacks, Kevin Delvecchio, playing shortstop today.
Kevin Delvecchio to Niagara Falls, goes to Uville University. No word if that was created originally by Dr. Seuss, but it's such a strange name. We'll have to look into the history of that sometime.
It is an interesting. He takes a first pitch in on the hands, fly ball to Ramos. He's under it for out number 2.
Blandino's done a lot of that tonight. Got right in on the hands for these guys. So clearly something he's doing. Movement on the pitches is fooling the hitters.
And that's probably what makes him so effective, right? Is it challenges them and makes them kind of swing at some non-favorable pitches there. Doesn't give a lot of guys something to hit, so.
Yeah, this game's been flying by.
It has. Medor up here. Devin Medor playing second base today. 205. He started kind of getting things going over the last couple games there.
Yep.
Takes a big first cut for strike 1.
Way late on that fastball.
Got some karaoke going on in the booth up here.
Yeah. There you go.
Stealing second. He's going to get in there as the ball gets away from Nick Pass. And that's going to allow Connor Kip to get in safely to second base.
Yeah, Pass was in trouble with that ball down in the dirt either way, so.
Yeah, trying to make the quick exchange, but I think Kip pretty much would have had that base no matter what. It's 1-1 count here to Devin Medor.
Again, in on the hands.
Fouls it back, and they're siren for the first time today. It's good to hear he's up and working.
Yeah.
A lot of fans in the stands today. You want to make sure they're safe. Kip with a huge lead off of second base. He's basically halfway there.
Yeah. Now Ramos.
Ramos going over to second.
Behind him.
I think Kip saw Ramos running in there and maybe quickly got back himself.
It's funny because it's still letting him go off him.
It's a slow ground ball to Ramos there. He's under it, tossed to first base, and now goes the Ironbacks in the second inning. Score still 0-0 as you head to the top of the third. Welcome back to George Taylor Field for the top of the third inning between the Niagara Falls Americans and Niagara Ironbacks. Score still 0-0. Nick Pass, the catcher, coming up for the Americans. 212. He struggled a little bit at the plate, I think. Been a little unusual that we've seen from Pass in the past. No pun intended.
Yeah. The first game here, he was tough. The first couple games,
he was everywhere.
Really
I think
stood
that
out
first
as a
couple
guy
games,
that
right?
was trouble for the Ironbacks. But he certainly wilted over the course of the rest of the first half of the season.
That's second ball in there. It's going to even the count, 1-1.
It's pretty brisk, 2 innings. Like,
it has
flown by.
It has.
Which is unusual. Ficini is, challenging him. We've seen some pretty good hard hit balls, but for outs. So
that's a shot
there's
to left
another
field.
one.
Briggs going back, makes the catch and a turnaround there.
Fast stepped into that one. Passed, excuse me. Briggs made me nervous there for a moment.
Kind of the way he twisted and turned around there,
yeah.
But made the catch in the end. Yeah, brings up Connor Kiefer playing second base for the Americans today, batting .250 on the year.
Lion dunk kiddie pool out there, far out in left field.
Yeah, we got a nice backdrop too of a little league game going on there too. Actually,
there's a lot going on in Meriton tonight.
It is.
Even there's stuff going on by the tennis courts.
Wow.
Oh, I think they're watching the baseball game. That's a weird kind of place. Maybe they don't like the other people.
It's a shallow shot that's going to drop in for a base hit for Kiefer. It's going to put runner on first base for Logan Stickler, the extra hitter today for the Americans. .217 batting average on the year. Not a lot of at bats or games played though for Stickler. So
I think it looked like it was hit a little harder coming off the bat, but I think it was towards the end of it, so it just kind of got down over the shortstop. Kiefer with a fairly aggressive lead.
He's dancing over there, getting his legs moving. Big first swing and a miss there by Stickler for strike one. Ooh, inside snap throw to first. Try to keep Kiefer sleeping off of first base there, but he gets back. Counts 1-1 now to Stickler.
That's an example of a play that would have likely gone awry there earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Throw down to first.
Yep.
It's a little sharper in a lot of the little ways.
Yeah, that's a big difference, right? I think that's where a lot of the runs and challenging innings that the Ironbacks had in the earlier season was kind of accounting to just some blunders like that. Snap throw to first, gets away. There he goes. Butts in. Not in time.
Under.
Kiefer beats the tag, but it was a close one. Maybe a little high toss there by Butts. But it's going to be a stolen base for Kiefer.
Medora seems to feel fairly passionately that he actually got that tag in there on the way down.
It looked close, but I think
he forgot to the bag.
I think having to hop and grab that kind of delayed him an extra second, right?
Yeah, hard to tell from here. The umpire was 2 feet away, so we'll go with what he said.
Yep. And the count's now 2-2 here to Stickler. Big lead now for Kiefer at second base. That's a chopper, just foul down the third base side.
2 strikes. Be big to get a K here. That would be helpful.
It would be very helpful.
Going back to the top of the order here, Graham Moore falling up, which is bad news. There
it is. Darren, you're the whisperer today. calling the plays as they come. Strikeout, Logan Stickler, second K of the day for Ficini. But as Darren mentioned, center fielder Grant Moore coming up. Already got a single and a stolen base in this game.
Yeah, he's been a tough out for the Ironbacks and every other team in the league.
Yeah, leads the league with 31 hits, tied with the Tarp Skunks, Justin Bremner. The only member I've seen in the league with a pink bat.
Nice. Ficini started him off with a changeup there. Nice choice. Oh.
Just outside
You
for
don't
ball one.
Want the umpire to give extra pitches to Grant Moore.
Not at all.
He doesn't need extra pitches.
And again, that one seemed pretty close from up here, you know?
Yeah, that was a good pitch.
Ooh.
Moore chasing, which is unlike him.
Very unlike him.
He also takes a lot of walks. He's pretty patient at the plate, but 1-2. Time called. See what Ficini does here. So I'm working him low in the zone.
Think maybe go upstairs now, throw him off a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he's thrown him like a fastball yet. Let's see.
There it is. Just fouls it off.
Upstairs, yeah. Yeah.
It's been a good battle so far. Ficini's been pitching pretty well, attacking and challenging hitters. Sets now. Way outside. That's a great way of Butts keeping that in off the backstop there. 2-2 to count.
Yeah, really uncorked one there. 2-2.
You know, it seemed like it was trying to throw the curveball, but just got away from a little bit, perhaps.
I'm not sure what pitch that was.
There it is there. Another pop fly. That's going to make it out of play. Off the Americans' dugout. Got some sirens in the distance. Nothing like sirens through Meriden. I think that kind of go hand in hand.
Dueling banjos here.
Between sirens and trains.
Yeah.
Those are not legitimate. The out of play sirens. Those are in fact real sirens. Another ball outside. That's going to run the count full.
Let's see what he does. Full count. Looks like, feels like maybe a changeup would be the way to go here, but we'll see what he does.
Shot up the gut there. It's a line. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to score a run here. Kiefer Galway from second base. The Americans take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the third inning by, again, Grant Moore doing what he does.
Yeah, I got a fastball up in the wheelhouse for Grant Moore, and he just...
Now, what are the betting odds on Grant Moore stealing second base here?
Pretty good. Core hit one pretty good last time, if I recall correctly.
And that's got to be probably in the pitcher's head, the catcher's head, the infielder's heads.
He didn't. It was off the end of his bat, actually.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That curveball comes in there and hits Evan Core, who's going to go to first base. It's going to put two runners on here for Gavin Boyle, left fielder, flied out the right field. His first at bat.
Yeah, Gavin Boyle's a hitter too, right? So 268. He's got 2 home runs this season, 3 doubles, a triple.
It's got some power, and again, you don't want to put runners on in this position here.
Yeah, and now
Ficini's just been kind of losing it a little bit in these last couple at bats too.
Yeah, we've seen him uncork some pitches well outside of the zone. See if he can put it back together.
Shot up the gut. That's going to run into center field. That's going to score more from second base. Core's on his way to third easily. That's a 2-0 lead now for the Americans. Runners at first and third, 2 out.
Yeah, I mean, the first couple innings we saw a lot of, I think I mentioned hard hit balls for outs, and now we're seeing some hard hit balls for.
And just finding holes in the infield. I don't think anyone's been driven too far into the outfield there. It's a lot of them just finding holes through the infield.
All ropes, though. Kind of line drives.
That's a golf swing there by Graydon Miller, another big hitter for the Americans. First baseman flied out to center field his first at-bat. Again, 2 runners on there. Not another guy you want to be up in this position. Ficini checks the runner there at first base. Gavin Boyle.
Boyle 3-0 in stolen bases this year. Ooh.
That's just inside. Ball 1 to Graydon Miller.
Yeah, Ficini really wants to stop the bleeding at this point. Oof.
Paints the corner there for strike 2. Miller not happy with that one.
And understandably, because that pitch was more inside than the pitch before
it looks
that was a ball.
Very similar to the one that was a ball.
Yeah, you kind of get why.
Miller an all-star here with the Americans as well. Ficini sets down low, ball skips from Butts but keeps him in front of him. Let's go to even the count, 2-2.
A little help from the umpire there as the ball got past Butts but hit the umpire's right foot.
Sometimes you just need a little bit of luck around here, eh?
Yeah. Ficini really laboring now. He needs an out.
There goes the runner just outside.
And
Boyle's going to get into second base safely, puts him in the scoring position. Runners at second and third.
You could see his discomfort level rise throughout the course of this inning, and it all started really with that at bat with Moore.
Yep.
Where you start to see him going well outside the zone with some pitches, and he's thinking a little too much here.
There's a shot down the third. Kip makes a great play, makes the toss off the line, gets away from Bishop at first base. 1 run's going to come in. That's 2 more runners on the board for the Americans. That's going to be a 4-0 now. Kip made a great play, keeping that in from becoming extra bases. But just errant throw off the line. Bishop couldn't hold it. Ball skips away.
I don't know if that clipped the runner. Or
I think maybe the runner was coming in and maybe Bishop tried to get out of the way.
Couldn't get around him to get the ball, I think, yeah. Tough play, and it's the kind of inning,
Again, error.
A single with an error.
That's up the gut, the short there. Makes the play. DeVecchio missed the tag.
Oh,
Makes
they
the
gave him
tag.
the out
They're
at
giving
second.
it to him. It gets out of the inning, but the damage has been done as the Americans put out 4 runs on the board as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 4-0 Americans. Hey, welcome back here to George Taylor Field. We got the bottom of the third inning on our way. 4-0 Americans after they got on the board that last inning with several hard-hit singles, I think, finding holes in the middle infield.
Yeah, nothing, no extra base hits or anything, but I think we saw, Pacini just lose his sharpness there a bit.
A little bit.
Also, the guys started finding some green on those hits as
That's right.
opposed to finding gloves.
Yep.
Right? Some hard hit balls through every inning here. And there was a bit of a bummer inning.
It was.
I'll just be really honest about it.
But what I've learned about this league is there's lots of baseball left, and all it takes is one inning to get back in this ball game. Leading off for the Ironbacks, you got a Grayson Briggs, left fielder, batting 180. He took a first pitch strike.
The offense after that 8-run game has been pretty cold.
It has.
I mean, almost got no hit there on Sunday. And then their last game only scored 1 run, courtesy Andrew Bishop's home run.
Right.
So it looks like a little bit of a malaise is.
You almost tapped in all their runs last week there with the Canada game there, the Saturday game, and then the 8-0 win.
Mm-hmm.
Ball goes in the dirt there. That's going to be the first ball.
And in
with
fairness,
Briggs.
too, though, they're up against it. They got a really good pitcher going here.
Yeah.
And Klimzak was for real.
Right.
That was a guy who was pitching really well that game. He almost no-hit him. It was Medor in the 7th who broke it up.
Right.
So that was the final inning, a doubleheader.
Swing and a miss, or fouled it off. It looks like Briggs had a little bit of tape or something hanging off his glove.
What?
It looks a little bit like Briggs had some tape or something hanging off his batting glove.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like it was undone or something like that, dangling in the wind there. He adjusted himself. He's back in the box.
All right. Might have just been the flap on the glove.
Maybe a flap in the glove, yep.
Oh,
He lazily swings of that one down low for strike 3. First K of the day for Blandino.
Boy, he went fishing for that one.
I think the flap on his glove there maybe got in his head a little bit, maybe messing around.
Because he was deep sea fishing there.
Well, it was a tough one for sure.
Like that's like when you get that down deep sea fishing, the only things you find have been in the dark for a long time, and you don't want them to come up and see daylight. But Blandino's been
dealing here.
And he's locked them up. Like every ball has been in on the hands, off the end of the bat.
You know why? It's probably because like the 3/4 socks there pulled up.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe just throw it a little bit, Yep. Chase Hubble up here for the Ironbacks. Typical center fielder for the team this year. Moving over to right field with the addition of Matt Evans. He's batting .214 on the year. He's got 2 balls, no strikes.
Hubble's been looking a little better at the plate of recent, a little more competitive, even in his outs.
Down low for ball 3 there, heading the count.
Merritt Organist is back at it.
Love it. That's usually the sign of Ironbacks turn of events here. Get the rally going with the organist playing.
Many may give up. I mean, sometimes I've given up, but the Merritt Organist just keeps going. And I think, you know what? Maybe there is hope.
There is hope for sure. That the organist is trying to tell you, Darren. Don't give up. Lots of baseball left. And there you go. 4-pitch walk to Hubble. Turns things back to the top of the lineup. Matt Evans grounded out to short. First at bat.
Evans came in with, like, a lot of people have talked up Matt Evans to us.
Well, let's see what he can do here.
First at bat was a little tough, and again, Blandino's been dealing, so let's see how he does here in the second at bat. Maybe gets a little better of a rip in here.
He's got a little activity with his bat movement there. First big, huge swing. Strike 1.
I think sometimes first game with a bunch of guys that you haven't played with before.
Yep.
Easy to press a little bit harder.
Yeah, you want to show what you're about, right?
Magic to happen right away.
Oh, make good first impression on your new teammates. Oh, Hubble's going to second. Snap throw by Past in the dirt. Not in time. He's going to steal second base.
Now, Hubble gets over 50% mark in stolen bases, up to 5 of 9.
There you go.
And we remember the one game, I think it was 0 for 3.
0 for 3. 3 straight times. Picked off trying to steal second.
That leaves a mark in a man's memory. So I've been, it's good to see that he's back on the good foot as far as stealing bases goes.
That puts him in scoring position here for Matt Evans. That's a shallow fly ball. Second baseman's under it. Makes the catch. Kiefer for the second out of the inning.
You absolutely can see there's loads of potential for way better things with Matt Evans.
Right.
It's a really nice swing. Just hasn't really
dialed it
had
up yet, I
in the
think,
bat
right?
yet.
Yep.
Yeah. See how Andrew Bishop does here. He grounded short last time. One of many today is Ramos. Has been a busy man there, Alan Ramos.
Getting a lot of work there in short.
Be nice to cut into that lead.
Bishop takes a first pitch, fouls it high pop, pass going back, makes the catch, and that's going to do it for the Ironbacks in the third inning. 4-0 Americans as we head to the top of the fourth. Welcome back here to George Taylor Field at the top of the fourth inning. 4-0 Americans over the Ironbacks. Tough inning for Ryan Ficini in the third. Things got away from him a little bit there, I think, right after the grab more at bat. Let's see if he can settle it down as we get in there for Alan Ramos coming up.
Yeah, last inning had a lot of sideways in it. We're looking for a little bit of straightforward here.
Yep. Yeah, settle it down a little bit. Ramos grounded into a double play, his first at bat in the second. Another guy you don't really want to get on the base passes. He's got a lot of speed there. Shows bunt, takes a strike, evens the count 1-1.
Ramos, from what I've seen, is just high and hard is something he struggles with a lot.
Yep.
He's looking for things low in the zone.
Well, smaller guy in the batter's box, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think you can knock the bat out of his hands.
yeah.
It's a changeup. That's a curveball.
Fouls that curveball back.
1-2. So it's kind of ripe for something high and hard, high
Yep.
and tight, maybe.
Yep. I'd say that's probably what you want to go inside here.
Yeah, that's been a dangerous pitch so far.
Deals it in there, shot up the center. Evans charging, not going to get there. It's going to be a base hit for Ramos.
Yeah, lower in the zone. Fastball. Ripped it up the middle.
That's the 7th single today.
Yeah.
Nothing extra base at all. All singles coming in for the Americans.
Yeah. They've been getting the fat part of the bat on it, no doubt.
Yep. Carmen Pinero up. He struck out his first at bat.
And
Ramos there taking a nice big lead off a second. Pitch just outside for ball one.
And that's what they have a lot of in their lineup is, compared to different lineups, there are a lot of kind of singles guys. Just kill you, single you to death.
Yeah, playing a little bit of small ball, right? Get on the base pass, make it pay that way, right?
Ramos can run, so.
As you speak, he checks the runner off at first. Keeping him honest.
Ramos 4 for 4 stealing bases. He's got a pretty aggressive lead there.
That's right. As our friend, though, from the Americans over there, Andrew, does tell us, though, quite often that he does have tons of speed over there at first base. So, as you just said it, an echo, fastest player on the Americans, which is shocking with Grant Moore having so much success.
I can't imagine he's faster than Grant Moore. He couldn't have said
I must have missed the one of.
I think it was one of. Here he goes.
There he goes as we speak.
Perfect pitch.
Got him. Picked off. Darren, you're having a game today. 4 for 4, and now Ramos gets picked off. Just talk about him stealing second base.
That's interesting. I wonder if I felt like I wasn't sure if he got him. He had a sort of ice cream cone there.
Looked like it bobbled a little bit on the door, eh?
It was a perfect pitch to try to gun him down with.
Yep.
High and away. So he's standing up, released it quickly. Botts has been really good with his release.
Today he's been excellent trying to get those runners at second there. However, it's a good thing they caught Ramos at second because Pinero walks on 4 straight pitches.
Remember, past rocked one into left field last time he was up to the warning track, sending
had Grayson
Briggs spinning
doing it
out there to track it down. He was kind of doing a do-si-do out there, trying to get to it.
First pitch foul back to the hot dog stands there. Heads up, anyone getting a hot dog? Got Pinero taking a not as an aggressive lead as the rest of them there.
No, it's a pretty modest lead for Pinero out there.
Pass down early 0-2 here.
It's funny when you think about how different Canada and the United States is, and not to go into depth, but you do tend to think of it as drastically different nations. And these names for Niagara Falls, New York, are very similar to the names that I would associate with Niagara Falls, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Italian community is very strong, I think, on both sides of the border.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, there's a shot again to left field. Briggs running back. That one's going to be off the DQ ball side there in left field. Pass gets a stand-up double. Toss in there, not in time. Pinero's going to score all the way from first. 5-0 Americans here.
I don't know what Briggs is doing on that fly ball. Like, he stopped pretty much.
I wonder if he maybe thought it was carried over his head.
I almost thought, I guess it's going out of the park because he almost stopped.
It did
and
look
then
like
the ball was about 3 feet past him.
Yeah, it looked like he stopped in the grass too before the warning track.
Yeah.
So he must have thought it was carrying over his head and didn't read it well.
I don't know. It was a weird play from here to watch. I don't know. Will Cordero down the third base box. Been active so far through 3.5, but it's another example of a ball just getting smoked. I mean, Past has been all over Ficini tonight.
That's right. And again, that's what shows that caught steal in there of Alan Rome was to be such a huge play here in this inning, because that could have been trouble. Popped up right in front of us here. Ball bouncing back. That just scared the PA guy not paying attention.
That scared the crap out of me.
PA John is scared.
Yeah.
Foul ball. Siren's alarm. No one's paying attention.
Yeah. The siren was there for you, John.
Actually, everyone was paying attention except for John.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Which
a
is
first.
about right.
Yeah. That's right. Connor Kiefer, second baseman, who singled, stole a base way back in the third inning, came around to score.
This game has got the way Blandino's pitching. They really need a drastic alteration of the way this game is trending.
They need some luck here. I mean, the good news is starting in the it's a shot to Kip there at third base off the glove. Keeps it in the infield, but that's going to be another single here for the Americans.
That's an error.
An error.
It's absolutely an error. I don't know a lot, but that's an error. Yeah. The official score nods knowingly. Yes. E5.
E5.
Absolutely.
Okay. E5
That's
there.
tough.
Runners
Ficini doesn't. He didn't need that. We got one out. Runners on first and second. Bottom of the order here. Stickler
Struck
with Grant
out.
Moore, who does not apparently get out.
That's right. You
ever.
really need to get this Stickler out here.
Things
stop the bleeding here for the Ironbacks.
Things are arcing towards ugly right now.
Inside ball 2. And the saving grace is the heart of the Ironbacks order is coming up here in the bottom of the 4th. We just got to get there first.
Yeah.
Keep the game within reach. Oh, that one off the back and the shoulder. That one looked like it hurt. The second hit batter of the game here for Ficini. That's going to load the bases for the aforementioned dangerous Grant Moore, who just does not seem to get out.
Yeah, Richard, it's time for story time with Richard Griffin.
Right.
I think the only thing that could solve this is story time with Richard Griffin.
That's right. And I'm curious what he's talking about right now.
He's got his hand on people's shoulders.
He's probably just saying, get this guy out, guys. Just get Grant Moore out.
Let me tell you about a little Montreal Expos story.
That's right.
Alice Valentine. This is a story about Alice Valentine.
That should calm everybody down, right?
It's, yeah. But you know what? We've seen him come out, chat with some people, and then big things happen.
Settle everything down, right?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of wisdom, a lot of baseball experience over there with Richard Griffin. He's been around,
absolutely,
right? So
very long. Like we're talking about the Expos.
Yep.
It's been around forever. Seen a lot of stuff.
That's
been
right.
A lot of, he's talked to a lot of managers and a lot of, I remember talking to Mike Wilner and saying, what's it like to stare down Cito Gaston after he's had to deal with a tough loss? Asking a hard question to a guy who's just dealt with an emotional loss has got to be a pretty nervy thing to do. So, and Griffin's had to do that many times.
Absolutely. Definitely not somebody I would want to talk to after a tough loss.
Yeah, we forget. I don't know. I've never played anything professional, but I know after some of my losses, I don't want you're mad.
I always find that interesting when the media has to go talk to a professional ball player after they've lost a World Series or a big game like that. And it's understandable why maybe they're not at their best. They just lost a big game.
Sure, and they're in their 20s, man.
Yeah.
You forget, they're in their 20s. They're young men.
A strike 2. He gets ahead early in the count here to Grant Moore.
Grant Moore has been down to 2 strikes before.
I think
it's getting that third one that's trick with Grant Moore.
Right, because he battles, right? He makes the pitcher work.
Hard to come by. Yeah, he becomes a different dude at 2 strikes.
Comes the pitch, fouls it off.
Starts fighting that off, fouling it off. You got to help me, Jesse. First baseman, Canadian dude, Cincinnati Reds.
Sorry?
Cincinnati Reds, first baseman, Canadian dude.
Joey Votto.
Joey Votto. He's got a little Joey Votto in him with 2 strikes.
Not choking at the bat as much.
No.
Just inside.
That just about clipped him.
Looks like it hit him, but safe, good. And Butts keeping it in there again was a great play. Now he's going to go out there to talk to Ficini a little bit, get on the same page a little bit, what they're going to do here to Grant Moore.
Yeah. This being a competitive game hangs in the balance, I think.
Yes.
Yep. Because it's a guy who's shown you that he's barely going to give you a thing pitching for the other team. It's 5-0 right now.
Right. And you got their big time hitter at the plate.
Right.
This could bust the game wide open here, right?
So much hangs in the balance. How compelling the rest of this game is, hangs in the balance, I think,
Here's the pitch. Fly ball, the Briggs. He's getting under it, going out of play. Makes the catch. 1 out, but a runner will tag. He's going to score. Pass is going to score. It's going to make it 6-0 Americans. Maybe not the best possible outcome, but probably a pretty good outcome in that situation.
Lesser of some evils there, I guess. Sack fly. So not even an official out of Grant Moore.
Evan Core coming up here, DH. He's got hit by a pitch his last at-bat. Took a hard throw off the back there.
Yeah.
He's 0 for 1. Scored and came around there. Back in the big 3rd inning for the Americans. Still runners at first and second. Now 2 out.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned the Americans are half a game out of first place.
Right.
This is a big game for them.
This is a huge game. After scuffling a little bit too, or talking about that on the Saturday or the Sunday game, they've come back and wheeled off 3 straight wins in convincing fashion, no less.
Yeah, just half a game behind Batavia, who we've seen here a number of times as well. We've been given an education in Batavia, Jamestown, and Niagara Falls. We've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, as I said
teams.
to you too, I don't think I've seen another team play actually this year. I've seen the only 3
I've
teams.
seen Newark, I think. It's pretty much it.
Right, you got Geneva coming Saturday, so finally some new blood.
Right. Well, yeah, that's right. I did the doubleheader for Geneva.
Oh, so you've seen Geneva.
A million years ago, yeah.
Get to know who they are.
They've got a couple fun players to watch as well. Ficini's 2-1 here. An out away from getting out of this. Runners on first and second.
There's a shot Kip there at third. He's going to make the play himself for the 3rd out. The Americans get 2 runs. It's 6-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Welcome back here to George Taylor Field for the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 6-0 Americans over the Ironbacks. Alex Keene, All-Star, coming up to bat here for the Ironbacks. He reached base back in the 1st inning on an error by the shortstop. It was ruled a base hit. We called it an error. Unsure for sure. However, nonetheless, what we like to go with is he got on base.
He did.
We need something good here. Let's hope we can get it going again for the Ironbacks.
They really haven't made solid contact here against Blandino.
No, Blandino's only giving up 1 hit right now.
Blandino out of Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Worcester, Mass. I don't, Worcester, if I pronounce it that way, if it's right, or if I'm just thinking like Worcestershire sauce. And
everyone likes a good Worcestershire sauce,
so
right?
when I see W-O-R-C, I think I have to pronounce it like Worcestershire sauce. I don't know, so forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. His 2nd season, though, with the Americans. So he's, I mean, that's one of the things we talk about a lot with the Ironbacks is it's their 1st year. You don't have a lot of the advantages some of these teams have to bring back nice players like Blandino, who had a 3.59 ERA. It was 4.3 last season. And you see him this season, 2.67 ERA coming to the game in 5 starts, 27 innings pitched, 20 Ks. He's had like 15 walks, but hasn't really shown any signs of wildness so far this game.
No, he is behind in the count, 3-0 to Keene.
And just like that,
4-pitch walk. Darren, you are on the money today. Doesn't walk very many guys.
I say something and then
not a lot of wildness.
Exactly.
4-pitch walk to start the inning. Darren, say Connor Gayton's going to hit a home run, because that may just come true.
Or maybe I have to say like the opposite.
No Tilsonburg walk-up song though today. It's a little interesting.
Kind of a bummer. Well, I guess only one person can carry the mantle of
Well, you can only have one Stompin' Tom walk-up song? Pass it to the new guy, go, it's your first game. I'll let you have the Tilsonburg.
I mean, the way athletes are, and you'd probably be the same way, like when things aren't going right for you, you're like, well, it's got to be the Stompin' Tom.
It could be.
So that could have happened.
You know, Gaines is hitting 308, does have a home run. Things are going pretty well for him. I wouldn't know if I want to change my walk-up song. I maybe go with the socks or the batting gloves or the bat before I change my walk-up song. But as we talked about the wildness of Blandino, he's gone 6 straight pitches now without hitting the strike zone.
Cue for Nick Pass to take a little walk out to the mound to chat with them.
That's right.
Let's talk about him like, look, man, we're all wearing our pants down low. Right down to the shoes,
That's
just
right.
for you today.
Throw us a bone here,
so we can
Blandino.
really accentuate the small stripes that you have. So let's get real here. Get back in the strike zone. Many have sacrificed for you to be here. Aggressive looking lead there. Whoa.
That one gets away from another ball.
Yeah, sometimes those conversations we've seen don't work out as well. You know, like we're looking out, it'll be like a 20-minute meeting, and the next pitch is like over top the batter's head.
Yeah, a little bit of an overthrow, and again, another
3-0. They could use more base runners, so we'll see how Gayton approaches this.
That's get away. That's back-to-back walks here for the Blandino, who, as Darren alluded to 2 batters ago, doesn't walk many guys.
No, I said he does.
Oh.
Blandino? He'd walk 15 guys. That was the point I made.
Oh, I guess that is a lot of walks.
He has had a bit of an issue walking guys, but we'd seen no indication so far this game that was a problem.
Right. Well, I guess maybe that's the fact I can't hear anything Darren says to my right here, because John over there's talking about lots of other things.
He's loud.
But we got runners at first and second here. No out for Marcus Butts coming up.
And
flied out to center field, last at bat.
And of the guys you'd want at the plate in this kind of situation, Butts is, if you had 3 to pick, he'd be one of the 3, I think.
That's it. He's known as a pull hitter going down the left field line there, so lots of space out there to kind of put it down.
Playing him straight up, so yeah, lots of room. And they've seen him recently too, so a bit of a surprise. That's a good pitch.
That's right. After 9 straight balls there, he finally hits their strike zone.
He's pretty much been going all fastballs here. The one curveball he threw was like over the batter's head, so we'll see if he goes back to that. There you
Shut up the gut there through the shortstop and the third baseman. That's going to load the bases for the Ironbacks with none out. Carter Kipp coming up.
See, and there's the thing, right? And we talked about it. It's not just the walks when the pitcher starts to get wild. It's the fact that the hitters can now narrow their focus.
Right.
Because most guys, when they get in a pinch like that, are like, okay, I'm just simplifying this and going with the straight stuff.
That's right. I just got to get over the plate, right?
Yeah.
And, of course, as a batter, you're in there going, he's got to throw me something over the plate.
That's the first hard hit ball we've seen tonight. It wasn't crushed by any means, but it was hit solidly.
Yeah, it's kind of taking a page of the Americans book just by getting them hard base hits right up the gut.
Kipp had a single up the middle last time, and you know, we've been looking for some signs of life from him, and there you go. See what he can do now against a guy who's really fighting it on the mound.
That's right, another ball
a big
thrown
opportunity
by Blandino
to make hay on a guy who, prior to this, hitherto, is that right?
Yep.
Hitherto, we'd see no indication of these possibilities, but things could change quick.
Yeah. That's a strike there.
That's a good pitch, right on the corner. It's a good take, too, because it wasn't an ideal pitch, so good for Kipp.
Right, and as we alluded to, the pitcher kind of having a hard time hitting the strike zone. I think you're going to take that.
And it's good to see some patience for Kipp, who often has come up swinging right out of the gate behind 0-2, and then he's in a world of hurt.
We're up the gun again. Ramos with the ball, flip the second, toss the first, double play. Keane will come in to score. The Ironbacks are on the board, but that's a double play toss by the Americans.
Nice double play. Nicely turned by the Americans, and that's when the Americans are going good. They don't give you any free outs.
That's right.
They did their pitcher a big favor there by turning that and made it look easy.
He did.
Kip was out by 5 feet there.
Ramos got to that ball very quick and made that quick turn to second base.
See if Del Vecchio can pop up to short last time. I think they'd like to see another run would help with the old self-esteem for the Ironbacks here tonight.
Yeah, would really like to try to cash in Gatens at least anyways, as you said. They kind of just keep the game within reach for you to get these later innings. Big strike there. He's down on the count 0-2.
When chasing that one, that was up shoulder level.
Maybe kind of the similar things you talked about Evans, just trying to maybe do a little too much there first game here with your new team. Really trying to drive that run home.
Man, all those possibilities kind of disappeared quick.
Strike three straight pitches. He struck out, second strikeout of the day for Blandino. He gets out of the jam with only giving up 1 run after loading the bases. It's 6-1 Americans as we head to the top of the 5th.
Okay, we're back at George Taylor Field with a bit of a mystery. We're trying to figure out what these folks are doing. They're sitting out by the tennis courts there over the left field fence. They're really sort of in no man's land because there is a baseball game, but it's far, far away. They seem to be angled towards it, but not quite clicking. I'm not sure if it's some sort of meeting of the Meriton Lions Club. Do they look like they're potential Lions Club personnel?
We'll take a switch second here as Gavin Burrows sends a first pitch single into right field, and his shin pad falls off. Our PA guy John thought he lost his shoe. Turns out just his shin pad.
A lot of drama from John.
First pitch into right field for a single for his second hit of the game.
And he ruined the kind of rumination on what exactly is taking place here in Marin, which I think is at this point perhaps more compelling than this game.
It is interesting. Are they watching our game? Are they watching the Little League game? It's very hard.
You think? They're trying to save $7?
Save $7?
And if people won't know we're actually watching it because we're 100 feet away from the outfield fence, who would do that, right?
That's
so
right.
It's like diabolical.
It's like
I would not suspect they would do it.
It's like hardcore people watching here from 100 feet away.
I mean, it's hard, you know, summertime, there could be people without air conditioning. You're like, let's just go down and hang out.
Well, personally, I thought it was maybe the fans of the Little League game that are sitting in the shade over there by the tennis courts.
I guess so, but I just don't know why you just wouldn't sit by like where the baseball game's actually happening.
Well, there's only so many spots to sit, I guess. Maybe you like to sit in the outfield and get a good vantage
point. That's where the cool kids are these days.
Hey.
It's all the rage.
I think we always like to sit on the right field wall, right?
We're calling them kids, but I don't think there's a kid in the mix there.
There might be. It's hard to tell. Let's get a zoom in action later on.
That definitely looks like
a bunch of parents.
That looks like the boomer generation hanging out there.
Bunch of parents watching their kids play a Little League game on a Wednesday night.
I think it could be like some sort of rift between these two teams.
Oh.
You know what I mean? There could be some angst there, perhaps, rivals. It could be a Thorold Merton game, some Niagara regional.
Another shot up the gut there. It's going to be another base hit. Another single for the Americans. Grayson Miller, this second single of the day.
Everything is getting hit hard today. There's not a lot of love being shown for Ficini's offerings. They're being treated roughly each time.
That's right.
Every time.
But yet, all just singles, right? Like nothing extra base except for Nick's pass double there, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I mean, passed is, to what you just said.
That's what I meant.
His ripped him to the fence. Yeah.
Double there, right? But the side of that, hard hit singles. So, there's getting runners on there. You just can't seem to locate the pitch enough to get these runners out there.
Yeah, the beat goes on. That's right. You could use a little Shane Paré coming up here. Single hit into a fielder's choice there. And the third. Paré, emergency replacement for Chris. I forgot my uniform, Gazaldo.
Right. He just made the All-Star team and actually maybe forgot the not a very All-Star moment there for Gazaldo.
Hit in the air.
That's a shallow
could be some trouble. No, there's a
nice run there by
Chase
Hubble.
That's no trouble
right?
for Chase Hubble.
Nice rhyme
exactly.
There. Nice rhyme. You've been
Again,
practicing that one.
Steady Chase Hubble doing steady Chase Hubble things.
That's right. Moving over to right field today. So
if we were to pick somebody in this press box, most likely to forget their uniform for a baseball game, who are you picking?
Well, it's going to be an easy answer, I think.
Zach is
our producer. Zach
already
knows the answer.
Yeah, it's John.
It's
the
going to be our PA guy John,
voted. Yeah.
who's asking us right now, who's up?
Alan.
And it is Alan Ramos.
Ramos had a good game.
He grounded in a double play back in the second inning. Single, was caught stealing, actually.
Stealing on him. Nice play there by...
After Darren was raving about his perfect 4-for-4 base stealing attempts this year.
Was I really raving or as much as just telling a stat?
All right.
He's 4 for 4 basically.
You got a lot of conviction in that stat.
Yeah, like did I say it in a way like he'll never be caught again? 4 for 4, I think that'll continue for infinity.
That's right. Well,
I foresee.
He's only 25 stolen bases away from catching up to Grant Moore, I think. So.
Exactly.
Counts 1-1.
At some point, I'm going to stop resisting the inclination to say, you ever notice that the Americans' sleeves have kind of a Wonder Bread?
I made that observation a few weeks ago.
We did. We didn't know what to do with it because it's not a negative thing.
It's not.
We're just saying, like,
it's just an observation.
Every time I see it, I think of Wonder Bread.
I do too. I'm actually inclined. I want to go home and have a sandwich when I get home.
And there are those that'll say, like, Wonder Bread is the way to go for grilled cheese. Jesse, you're a grilled cheese aficionado.
I do not like the Wonder Bread for a grilled cheese sandwich.
No?
You know why? Too thin.
Okay.
Too thin. I like a big, thick slice cut for a grilled cheese sandwich. I use a panini press, so I press it down for a nice grill sear on that sandwich.
Okay.
So myself, I'm also a massive sourdough fan. So when you grill cheese, a sourdough, you get a nice crispy crunch.
Where are you getting your sourdough in the Niagara region?
Where I go to Cobb's Bread now, actually. That's going to be the force out at second. That's going to put 2 outs here. Ramos with the fielder's choice. Runners at first and third, 2 out.
So Ramos is on first and third, 2 out.
Carmen Pinero.
What do you think's going to happen?
Well, he was caught stealing last time. However, I don't think that's going to deter him from potentially trying to steal second base. They've had some good odds at stealing bases on the Ironbacks in the last course of the season. We'll see how things go. Now, as you speak about sourdough, my wife actually has started to make her own sourdough. It's going very well, actually. It's a 14-hour process, so I get to eat sourdough bread at 10:30 at night.
Oh, really?
Which I don't know if it's great to eat
Fresh
heavy bread.
bread is one of the great. Yeah, I know. Maybe not the ideal time.
Heavy bread at 10:30 at night. However, you can't deny a nice warm loaf of sourdough.
And good for Danette.
It is pretty excellent, and it's really easy actually. Once you get it going, you now keep the starter in your fridge, and you can always just kind of prepare that sourdough.
There you go. I love good sourdough. I was such a fan of that place. It was on Geneva Street. What's it called again? It moved to North End.
It was right there by the music speaker shop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, DQ Falls used to get all their bread from that space.
And it was so good.
It was good?
The best bread in the Niagara region, in my opinion. I also thought the 156 on the Ridge there in Ridgeway.
Yep.
You went there for pizza, right?
Oh, their wood oven pizzas are phenomenal.
Great pizza, great patio if you're ever in Ridgeway, Ontario. That's a place to go. They make great fish and chips, too.
I love that.
They elevate fish and chips to a different place, and it's still at a great price point. Anyway, they also make amazing sourdough. Like I've driven, that's Fort Erie pretty much, so that's a 25-minute drive just to get sourdough bread there.
You know, and I love that ambience, as you mentioned, that back patio. It really gives you kind of like a hanging out in the backyard feel.
It's simple. It's like every man's patio. It's not trying to fool anybody. It's not trying to be too fancy.
It's like the lights and the greenery around your fence there, right? Yep. Like that new brewery up in Welland, too, has almost that same kind of ambiance there. Bridgewater. Check it out, actually. Little back patio, same kind of idea. And they have a mister. Pacini checks the runner at first base. Says there is a baseball game going on.
It's 3-1. There's 2 out.
We digress on our love for sourdough. We forgot that actually there's runners at first and third, 2 out here.
That does get me excited. Sourdough
it is a 3-1 count. Fouls the ball back to even things out for Carmen Panero.
You know what we had today at work?
What's that?
Humble Donuts.
Oh, you would get that, wouldn't you?
No, it was brought in for us. Wow. It was like a gift.
Wow.
And it
now,
was
how do they compare?
Ridiculously good.
How do they compare?
Well,
to your Creamsicle Beechwood donut?
Well, I'm not going to get into my experience with the Creamsicle donut this week.
There, Ramos is going on the pitch. That one's tattooed, but just foul to the train tracks.
That's going to cost Mel a couple dollars as that went over the fence onto the train tracks.
You know, I think we can probably go collect that later on tonight.
Yeah.
You know?
We might have to. After if Mel's listening to this, he's like, you guys gave me no value at all tonight. You're going out to the train tracks. You're going to find every ball that I've lost.
That's right. Just put the street lights on so we know how to find our way back.
And you're going to give me $5 from your wallet as well, along with those balls that you find.
Ramos going again on the pitch. Strike 3 call. Pacini gets out of it unscathed. Puts runners on board, but the score is still 6-1 for the Americans as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Hey, welcome back to George Taylor Field, bottom of the 5th inning. We just had our around the bases sort of
Musical
game in
chairs?
between innings there, musical bases,
Yeah.
where our PA announcer called the winner a scallywag. So
Scallywag.
that was-
He's always so vigilant for impropriety in this game.
the
He
winner was
accuses
a
somebody of being a
7-year-old, so-
cheater every time.
Yeah, the
That
winner's a-
guy's cheating right now.
And then
It's musical bases, man. I don't even know if there's rules.
and he's a kid. So I mean,
Yeah, that was also an 8-year-old kid. Yeah, exactly. Ball one.
Devin
Man,
Medora up. Yeah.
The Ironbacks missed out on such a golden opportunity,
They did.
which has
Bases
caused
loaded.
us in a fit of depression to talk about anything but the baseball game
That's
for the
right.
last 10
That's
minutes.
right.
So our apologies.
Bases loaded there. Nobody out.
Yeah, it's a double play.
They did manage to score one run, but they really needed to cash in a few more in that inning.
They
there.
did, and I think the biggest thing, it was the first time we've seen Blandino kind of wobble,
That's right.
and they couldn't really take advantage of that.
That's
Off
a
the
shot
end
to
of the bat.
Medora, just in a lazy center field. Moore's going to make the catch for the first out.
Yeah, and there's absolutely no free lunch today for the Ironbacks. They were given a lot of free outs and free bases there in that first game of the doubleheader.
Yep.
None of that stuff today.
No, not
It's been
at
really
all.
good defense.
They've really just brought in two of their best pitchers to really lock things down, I
Yeah.
think, against the Ironbacks.
See if Briggs is looking better at the plate these days.
He did strike out in his first at bat there. Chasing went down the dirt. But to your point, he has looked a bit more.
I think the thing that I mean is he's swinging into the ball as opposed to like pulling off of it as much as he did early in the season, where that right foot was kind of going towards first base.
Yeah, he's been more on top of it for sure. There's a high chopper into second there. Turn fires for the out. 2 quick outs here for Blandino.
Nice play by Connor Kiefer.
He's
That
made
looked pretty. Yeah,
He's made several
had a
nice
little
plays at
hop in
second
there.
base action. A nice quick turn and throw, especially with the unsureness of where that ball's actually
Yeah.
going to go when it gets to you.
We have to ask Andrew, not James. Andrew from the
That's right. His
Niagara
name is
Falls,
Andrew. Yep.
because I called him James all Sunday, and I apologize. Andrew is awesome and very helpful for us. We have to ask him about the Sox phenomenon next
Yes.
break.
Let's get into that in
And we'll
between
come
innings
back to you
here.
because we're not going to get to the bottom of these people standing over by the tennis courts doing whatever they're doing. They're now standing a lot.
It looks
so
like
something
they're-
might be about to happen.
Well, it looks like the game's over there because the kids are running the
Oh,
bases.
that's-
So maybe they're packing up their lawn chairs, shutting down their coolers,
It could be.
saying goodbye to everybody,
Or plotting for the next time they
or
come out.
plotting. You know,
be.
the whole
Could be some
creasers and
plotting.
Socia's outcome here. They're going to
Yeah.
have a rumble in the middle
Again,
of the field,
Zach's
I think.
the
there.
only one who's got like a good line of sight on them because he can like go up close. I can't see close enough.
No.
I'm a little nervous about it. Is all. That's
It
all
looks
I'm
like they
saying.
are heading to their
It's a
cars,
member of
though,
the
Darren.
community.
I think Zach, the producer, said they're packing up. They're
Are they?
wrapping things up. We can focus on the game at hand.
We can.
Chase Hubble's up.
Chase
2
Hubble.
outs. Counts 1 and 2. He walked and stole a base his last at bat.
Oh. Blandino appears to have righted himself after a shaky last inning. Oh,
Strike
good pitch.
3.
Overhand curve.
Strikeout for Blandino. 3rd of the game. 1-2-3 go the Ironbacks in the 5th. 6-1 Americans as we head to the 6th. Hey, welcome back here to George Taylor Field. We got the top of the 6th inning coming up there. Ironbacks went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th. We got a lineup change here. Nolan Phelan, number 24, coming in the left field for Grayson Briggs.
Curious, maybe pulled something running down to first base.
Maybe. It was a quick change there, so.
Yeah. Unusual.
However, we did investigate the High Sox pandemic here going on between.
And Andrew refused to tell us anything.
Refused to say
it's like
the
top
secrets.
secret. Can't tell you.
That's
Sock
right.
information. I can't relay it.
That's right.
I'll be ostracized on the bus on the way home.
I thought we were friends. We were becoming real close, but yet some things I guess kept between one team and another.
Pass just got clipped on the elbow.
Last game, Nick Pass, I think, got hit 3 times.
Nick Pass has been hit a lot. I actually noticed in his stats it's sort of a thing. So let's see. Nick Pass. Hit by pitch. 7 times coming into today. So that's number 8.
Number 8.
I think, and I don't want to be this guy, but he doesn't make a great effort to get out of the way.
Why would you?
I think a guy who crushed the ball as much like he did the last 2 times, I'd be like, I don't want to get hit. I want to keep hitting this
There's
guy.
a bunt there by Connor Kiefer. Perfect bunt. That's going to drop. Bunt single for Connor Kiefer. That's the 2nd single of the day. It's going to put runners at 1st and 2nd. No out for Logan Stickler, who was also hit by a pitch today. 3 hit by pitches in total for Ficini.
Yeah. I wonder why they might not be playing a little bit more in on a guy with shown no inclination for power.
No.
Bunted it before.
That's a strike in the corner there.
And here we go, right? Last guy before the top of the order. Nobody out, runners on 1st and 2nd. And now we've lost the guys by the tennis court, so what are we going to talk about if this game gets out of hand?
We got a
This game cannot get out of hand.
Beautiful ambiance coming in there with the sun going down.
You know what? We should talk more about the fact that George Taylor Field is a really pretty park here at this time of day. Got a little breeze rummaging through the press box.
That's right. We got the Meriden flag all fixed up. It's blowing in the wind quite nice.
Kids having hot dogs, families chatting, feet up on the back of chairs. It's a great night to be at a baseball game. Good point, Jesse. Thanks for reminding us. Sometimes you're at a baseball game.
You just don't think about those things, right? And there's a big strikeout. Big strikeout for Ficini.
That's huge. And one thing it's been reliable about this Ironbacks team is they just keep kind of fighting.
They do. They do. It's kind of the Ironbacks way, I think, right? Yep. So, granted, now you got Grant Moore coming up, who his 2 for 2.
Sack fly.
With a sack fly back in the 4th inning.
Stolen base, run scored, 2 runs batted in.
And now he's got 2 guys on with 1 out.
Just another day being Grant Moore.
That's right.
Here at George Taylor Field. It's a fun life.
I wonder if he likes playing at home more or at George Taylor Field more, because he seems to really destroy baseballs while he's here. But granted, based on his statistics in season, he looks like he destroys baseballs everywhere he goes.
Yeah. You know what? He seemed to struggle with pitches like below the knees.
He's got a 550.
Anecdotal note, something I noticed today.
550 on base coming into the game today. It's
ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'm sure going 2 for 2 is going to really just help that.
Yeah. 55%, man. That's awesome.
That's video game numbers right there. That's outside, 2 and 1.
Grade 9 shop, because I believe that was about my mark in grade 9 shop. I remember my grade 9 shop teacher saying to me at the end of the year, "Are you ever going to take shop again?" And I said, "No." He's like, "Okay, I'll give you a 50, but never take shop again."
I had my Polish French teacher give me a 50 and gave me the answers for the exam so I wouldn't come back to grade 9 French.
But you know what's interesting is the way you tell me that story. I had my Polish French teacher. As if you're undermining the ability of your French teacher by suggesting they shouldn't even have been teaching Polish.
That's kind of where I was
French,
going with
excuse
that,
me.
actually. When
Yeah,
you had
I could see that.
Polish
I
teacher
can see you
teaching
still
you
a
French.
little bit bitter about that.
That was my argument is, how am I supposed to learn French when my French teacher can't speak French?
Wow.
And then, of course, the real kicker
But
is
I guess
I'm also
but wait,
French.
If we go exactly, but if we go right, yes.
I had a French background, yet I couldn't speak it. So it made things questionable. But yet she didn't want me back. Runners going. That's going to be a base hit in the left field. Here comes Nick pass. Run coming in to score. More stand-up double to second base. That's going to be 7-1 here for the Americans in the 6th inning. Another RBI for Grant Moore. He's 3 for 3. I don't know if I got anything else to say about Grant Moore, to be honest. I'm running out of things to talk about him. He's just a machine. I almost consider walking him.
Yeah.
It's runners at second and third here. Evan Core
I have to think that
coming up.
the Ironbacks are short on arms.
Yes.
And nothing against Ficini. He's been real brave fighting it out here, still giving her all he's got. I wasn't even a great hit. I was off the end of the bat.
And again,
also, they haven't, to your point earlier, they haven't crushed a ton of
Right.
balls,
I
but
was
they
just
have
gonna
hit
say
a lot
that.
of balls pretty solidly. That was not an example. That was just bad luck.
Yeah.
So you put aside from the fact they've had some good hits, he's also had some bad lucks.
There's a long shot, third base line, but just foul. But that, again, they're just getting the single base hit singles that are just finding the holes in the infield. And then it's been making them pay in that way.
Yeah,
Evan Core down 0-2 here.
The Lion Dunk kiddie pool is now empty. The softball field is emptying out. We're going to be left all alone, Jesse.
Strike
Nice
3
catch.
call. It's another strikeout
There you go. Look at
for
Ficini here.
Battling, you know.
You have to admire it, man.
Again, things have not been going his way, but he's still.
And look at us. Look at us, grown men. And we're like, we're losing. Let's talk about sourdough bread.
Yeah, we're talking about sourdough bread and the strangers in the way in the outfield
Yeah,
there.
exactly. So
We're missing a great battle here by Ficini trying to get out of this inning.
I mean, it's funny. Like, we measure some crazy stuff sometimes in sports, and I think that sort of thing, in the face of adversity, not, just continuing to compete.
That's right.
There's a lot to be said for that.
That's right. Gavin Boyle, first pitch strike. Boyle's 2 for 3 today with a couple RBIs,
These
runs
guys are swinging
scored.
some good bats too, like making good contact, and they've been hard to get out. Like really hung in there with them, forcing them to make a lot of pitches.
Definitely. Takes that pitch for a ball. 1-1 the count.
Be big for him to get out of this. I think I've said that a fair amount of times tonight.
Yeah, seems to be the one constant thing we do say.
Yeah, or like the boy who cried, it'll be big if they got out of this.
Grant Moore with an incredible lead off a second. He was already at third base on that foul pitch there, foul hit there by Gavin Boyle. Looks like Grant Moore's basically playing shortstop right now. Another foul pitch back there to the.
Like I said, these guys hang in there.
They do.
If you're gonna get them, you're gonna have to earn it.
It is.
Man, we're in the
1-2 the count here to Gavin Boyle. Again, 11 hits for the Americans today. 1 extra base hit.
Yeah, wild, right?
That's
There
a
you
pop
go.
up there. Kips under it, calls everybody off, makes the play. Down go the Americans in the 6th inning, but they get another run to make it 7-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to George Taylor Field here. We're back for the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 7-1 Americans.
Center fielder, number 51. Matt Evans.
We got Matt Evans for coming up for his 3rd at-bat, looking for his first hit. Just seems to be missing a couple of those first at-bats there, but you can see the potential as you alluded to.
It's a sweet swing.
There's a first pitch strike there.
That's tough.
That is a bit of a tough one.
It's like it's good to see a hitter take a pitch, get his weight back on the back foot instead of being a little overly eager. And when you take a pitch that's borderline and you get that call.
That's a shot at the gut there. That's going to be a base hit. First hit in Matt Evans' career as the Ironbacks. And they start the inning off with a runner on first.
And there's a great example, right? Of what you can see in the potential of him.
Definitely.
That's not a ball he hit perfect, but the swing is a good enough swing that gets through the infield.
But he found the holes,
hits the
right?
ball, he gets enough on it, whereas most often the Ironbacks in that situation where they can't get good wood on that pitch, it's not going anyplace.
No, it's popping up maybe, right? Bishop takes a first pitch, fouls it way back to the parking lot.
I'm so disappointed that we missed out on his home run last night.
I know.
Yeah.
Because we've been just looking for one all game, all season, right?
To see it from him, and you can see it's all there.
Well, who knows, Darren? You just called it. You've been calling things all game. Maybe he hits one again.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be something? An Andrew Bishop home run to right field. There goes the runner. Evans stealing second base. Ball gets away, safe. As John says, safe by a country mile. Or he corrected himself, a kilometer.
Okay. Canadian did up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Translate that into Canadian.
This is our ending.
And that puts a runner in scoring position
Country
here.
kilometer. Actually sounds kind of better, doesn't it?
It does maybe sound a little bit better.
Doesn't sound as folksy, though. Sounds a little bit new age. Oh, good pitch.
You know,
good
I also
pitch.
noticed in between innings there we had our race there between two fans, yet he called the 8-year-old a cheater, but the gentleman not wearing proper attire was okay.
Yeah,
because he's type of guy.
Kind of guy.
His kind of guy.
Top is apparently
right.
And for John, is his kind of guy.
He's apparently not a fan of 8-year-olds, but enjoys a big beer.
It was a fun race. It's one of the great things about coming to the park is the little things, little side hustles that happen.
That's a shot way in the air by Bishop. Ramos is calling it off. He's going to make the play for the first out. Ramos again with another put out in this game.
Yeah, he's had an active game in the field, no doubt. Keane puts his little tracing in the grass there before he steps up.
You know, we should get down there to the field level one day and inquire what they're doing, what they're writing about.
Yeah.
Maybe during batting practice or something, instead of eating the watermelon brought by our PA guy, we could maybe do some actual investigative work outside of who's sitting way out in the field.
Yeah, exactly. Something more pertinent to the team that we cover. Yes.
That's a first pitch strike to Keane.
You know what? That pitch, he's giving it to him, though. And you got to give it to Blandino. He hasn't really given up
and he's
hard contact today. It's
still going strong here in the 6th, too.
Yeah, he's just bowled over this Ironbacks lineup tonight. It's been a bit of a mismatch so far. Blandino versus the Ironbacks. I mean, really where they had him wobbly there was all Blandino doing it to himself.
That's right, exactly. That gets ahead in the count here. 0-2 to Alex Keane.
Lights
I was just going to say, actually,
it's a
little
bit
different.
Get
a little bit dark, and how come the lights aren't on? And there they go, right as I'm thinking it. Fouls it off.
0-2, he's fighting it off.
Yeah, Connor Gayton's on next. On deck. Walked his last at bat. Keane walked his last at bat. That was that big kind of trouble inning that Darren alluded to there from Blandino. Down low. Ball.
That was close. And I can see Blandino going to take a second after that one, as will Keene. I think Keene knows he got away with one there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really good pitch, and that's been one of his go-to two-strike pitches, that overhand 12-6 curveball. See what he goes to now. He dials it back up. They did.
That's a shot to left. Boyle twists and turns. That one's going to drop. That's going to score Evans from second. Keene comes in for a stand-up double there. It's 7-2 for the Americans there.
E7?
I think that pitch there before.
Double?
Gavin Boyle twisted and turning around there. Spinning
So
like
there's
a
some
top
mulling
in
over
left
by the
field.
official score right now, whether that's a double or E7, and I can appreciate it. I can respect that mulling.
I'm going to mark it a double with
You're
an
calling it a
asterisk.
double? Okay.
I'm marking it a double there.
I mean,
Nonetheless, Ironbacks get another run.
Okay, we could score whatever we want, but I know the ball coming off a lefty's bat.
Boom,
There we
another
go.
bat. That's a shot by Connor Gaines into the gap. Keene coming around from second base. That's going to score another run. And we're chipping away here. First pitch swinging by Connor Gaines. Gets a single. 7-3 Americans. Darren, lots of baseball left. Don't go home. We're back in the game.
Yeah. Don't look now, but the Ironbacks are getting in this thing, only down by 4. That ball off of Keene's bat, I mean, a lefty, it's going to be slicing out there, I know, but you got to catch that.
Yeah, Boyle was twisting and turning himself all the way around, contorted himself like a pretzel, and couldn't come up with that baseball.
Double. Double is the official call.
That's
from our
right.
official
I
scorer.
thought so. Not sure you call it an error when he really didn't read it very well.
I didn't touch it, but I mean, we can agree that he should have caught that.
He
right?
should have caught it,
Yeah.
no doubt. That's a lazy fly ball there by Marcus Butts. Whoa,
what a
great
catch.
play by second
What
baseman
a
Connor
catch.
Kiefer.
That was incredible. What a catch
That
by
was a great
Connor
play
Kiefer.
by Connor Kiefer. He's made a couple outstanding plays in the field today. That one again,
was
probably
beautiful.
tops the list.
Oh, that's might be the great defensive plays we've seen.
That's right.
Maybe the best.
One of the best for sure. Neck there with Chase Hubble's catch in center field a few games ago. And the play by third baseman for the Americans last week there was just unreal.
Yeah.
2 outs here now for the Americans. You got Carter Kipp up. He takes ball 1 down low.
Kip single stolen base, grounded to a double play his last at bat. That was with the bases loaded, nobody out.
That's right. That was a stinger there as their Ironbacks were just starting to get a little bit of a rally going.
And part of the problem with that was he hit it pretty well up the middle.
Yep.
So thus making it a little
Yeah,
easier to
Ramos
turn
just
his
ran
elbow.
out of way over from shortstop and swallowed that ball at the turn too quick.
Yeah, some of the biggest major league ball players for hitting double plays were guys who were awesome hitters, like Dave Winfield.
Yep.
Hit to a ton of double plays. Jim Rice for the Red Sox.
Well, look at even
Going
Vladdy
back
Guerrero,
now.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Vladdy
Any
Guerrero.
right-handed hitter who hits the ball a ton on, yeah.
2-0 count here to Carter Kipp. That's a strike in the corner, strike 1.
That's right on the corner there from Blandino.
Blandino checks Gaines at first. He's got a pretty gingerly lead over there off of first base. Kipp swings down to third base. Great grab. Toss to first. They're going to get out of the inning here. But the Ironbacks get 2. And it's 7-3 as we head to the top of the 7th. Welcome back to George Taylor Field here. We got the top of the 7th inning on our way. 7-3 Americans as the Ironbacks were able to chip away last inning with a couple runs. Still some work to do, obviously. We got a new pitcher on the mound for the Ironbacks, Brad Alexander. We've seen him a few times, Darren. Good curveball when it's on.
Seen him a ton, and there it was.
And there it was right there.
Lollipop curveball.
It's going to be strike one to first baseman Graydon Miller for the Americans. He's 2 for 3 today. Tunes won the right field, but right at Chase Hubble.
It's a little bit of a break. I mean, we've seen Alexander so many different times do so many different things. We've seen possibilities for him. We always talk about it. Nice curveball, fastball.
You got Shane Prey coming up here. He's 1 for 3 today for the Americans. First pitch swinging. Pop fly. That looks like it's going to drop in there.
Man.
That's going to be a single for Prey. That was trouble there. Center fielder, right fielder, and second baseman all converge on it, but just right in that little spot there, right, no one can get to for a single. And now the great debate on is, now that we got a runner on first base, we just received our 7th inning hot dogs. Will we be able to eat them before they go cold?
There's been a lot of hot dog tragedies this season.
Yeah, this is the one thing I think that really gets on Darren's nerves, is getting a hot dog and then just staring at it.
Right, getting colder. Colder and colder.
That's right.
So our hopes are all with Brad Alexander.
That's
right.
Now. Everything lives and dies with Alexander.
Get us these hot dogs while they're warm. Ooh,
upstairs. That was right over Ramos's head there.
Yeah, like Ramos was like pretty calm about that. I would be
kind of concerned, right?
Yeah. He played that pretty
Maybe
cool.
He knew it was pretty clear over his head. It wouldn't maybe matter, but
yeah.
That's right. Prey not taking any real lead off of first base. Alexander checks him anyways.
Yeah, Prey doesn't seem much of a threat there.
No, he's got
him with a lead off so far. He could be, playing possum. I don't know.
That ball's going to get away from Butts though, and that's going to advance Prey to second base. It's a pass ball, wild pitch.
I'm calling that a wild pitch. That bounced like 5 feet in front of home plate. So I feel for the catcher now. Well, my sympathies for the catcher. There you go.
It's a pitch in for a strike.
About. Like that fastball right there, right at the knees.
Right.
Like it has its time and place. Work it in and around. It can be an effective complementary pitch out there.
Right, and kind of, we talk about the Americans a lot, kind of really getting over top of that plate, right? I think that's going to keep them a little honest and back them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and that's what you want.
Because they have every reason to go up there feeling like really comfortable with being really aggressive, and angling themselves right into that zone.
Right. And then obviously
keep them honest. Yeah.
Right, the pitcher's now going to throw something right in the batter's wheelhouse, right? It should be the other way around, I think. There's the curveball for a strikeout there.
Uncle Charlie came over.
Beautiful curveball by Alexander.
Alan Ramos for Brad Alexander. Look at that. That curveball can look so great sometimes.
We saw that one day where he was getting 3 or 4 strikeouts off of that wicked curveball there.
Yeah. And I think the thing is for him to keep it still in good proportion with his other pitches. Not just overly go to that curveball.
Right, because then the team knows it's coming, right? You get your batter in there.
Fastball right off the top, right on the outside corner. Nice, right?
Darren,
it just makes your curveball so much more effective.
That's right, and that's the great point, right? Is that you got to mix in your other pitches, because if you're a batter up in the box, you know the curveball's coming all the time, and then you set yourself up for the curveball. Right. It's his out pitch. You got to set yourself up for it, right?
Got him 0-2. What pitch you want to see? I would like to see a fastball.
I'm saying fastball high and away, maybe, right?
Yeah. Sure. Waste one. I'm betting he goes curveball, though. There it is.
Ball blocked by Butts there. Good play by Butts to kind of keep that in front of him.
What I don't like is if you go with the fastball and you miss, you can come back with a curveball.
Right.
Now you're thinking probably fastball 1 and 2. I don't know. Like you gonna go with 3 curveballs in a row?
I don't know. I might even go inside a little bit here.
There it is.
There's the shot. Center. That's going to be a run for Phelan. Under it, makes the catch. Down go the Americans at the top of the 7th. We're going for the 7th inning stretch, and more importantly, Darren can take time to eat his hot dog. 7-3 Americans. We'll be back after this.
This inning is presented by All the Inn Suites on Ontario Street in St. Catharines, a proud partner of your Niagara Ironbacks.
Great catch by Phelan there. That was a run, man.
Out-of-town fans to
Maybe the guy with the mustache
talk about it when we come back.
does have some speed there.
Fans, this is the last call for alcohol. Service will conclude at the end of the 7th inning.
One bourbon,
Ironbacks
one
White
scotch,
Lager before the end of the 7th.
one beer.
Now we play the Ironbacks bomb, right? And now, fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch.
New
Stand
pitcher.
up, stretch
Who's
it out,
the new pitcher?
and get
It is,
ready
isn't
to
it?
sing along.
Hey, Andrew, who do we got on there? 39? It's not on here for me.
Hudson Boring.
Hudson John, new pitcher. Hudson Boring. Doesn't look very boring out there.
I don't want to interrupt taking over the ball. No. Yeah, they are. Listen to the ball. Hey, listen to it.
I don't think it's.
Okay, new pitcher now for the Niagara Falls Americans. Number 39, Hudson Waring. I don't make this stuff up. I don't make this stuff up. It's exceptions on that.
Hey, welcome back to George Taylor Field. 7th inning stretch off and running there. We're back for the bottom of the 7th. It's 7-3 Americans over the Ironbacks. Kevin DeVelchio coming up. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout.
Yeah, he hasn't been. He's struggled today.
You're a little bit struggling. Looking
Yeah.
for his first hit in an Ironbacks uniform. You got a new pitcher on the mound as well for the Americans, Hudson Boring. That's a big first strike there for Boring coming into the game.
Boring's been great this season.
You're right, 10 appearances, 2.28 ERA, 23 innings.
He looks the part too. Big dude, throwing hard.
You're right, doesn't look very boring out there, I don't think.
Good.
18.
He couldn't resist that one.
Well,
He made it 17 seconds into the inning before.
18
Even
strikeouts, 8
Even
walks.
Gord's calling you out on it.
Well,
yeah. Ooh, good. That's a good take. Nick Past was trying to frame that one on the corner. 1-2. Delvecchio sticks with it. Oh, and he
that one
gets
eats up Kiefer at second base.
Kiefer.
That's probably going to be an error there.
That's an
Kiefer, who's
E4.
had an excellent game
I got the
defensively.
nod from the official score.
Kiefer's had an
Definitely an
excellent
E4.
game defensively
He was,
there.
and you know, we talked about it. Like there was in amidst those 3 or 4 hops, was
Right.
a tricky one.
Right.
And that, when you're in infield, that's a little trigger.
Yep, and one kind of just right through his legs. It's
Right.
actually Kiefer's second error of the day for as
Yep. You know, it's the old, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times there for Connor Kiefer.
Trent's going to bring up Devin Madorn now. He is also 0 for 2 today.
Yeah, they could use a little bottom of the order magic. And hey, coming up next is St. Catherine's own Nolan Phelan, who ended last inning with a real great catch there and left.
Was it ever? He got on his horse and ran a long way to make that play.
You know what? They're starting to give Hudson boring that outside corner, and that's going to make him real tough, especially tough for Medor.
There's a shot to second
could be
base.
Trouble.
Turns two. That's it. Kiefer redeems himself after the error there. They quickly turn two. Double play by the Americans. And that
They've
brings up.
been so good today.
They have defensively. It's a light and day different, I think, since Sunday afternoon. That's going to bring up the aforementioned St. Catherine's own Nolan Phelan to the plate. Still rocking the Costanza. First pitch swinging the third base.
Oh.
Boot eats up the third baseman, Shane Prey. That's going to be another
error.
error.
I talk about how good their defense has been, and they just start kicking it around.
You've been doing that all game, so I think you just got to start kind of doing it some more.
Yeah.
You know, every time I say something, it doesn't come true. Maybe you got to start just,
Yeah, manifest.
Chase Hubble, double the center. Actually, if I say it, it's not going to happen. So, Darren, what do you think's going to happen here?
He's in tough. Boring they've really pretty expansive strike zone for Boring, and to his credit, he's right around the zone, so you get more calls when you do that, and his stuff looks good. They've looked
Hubble
overmatched against him so far this inning.
Heading the count again there by Boring.
They've had multiple
0-2 to
base
Chase
runners,
Hubble.
but totally on just infield errors.
Right, he's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk and a stolen base, Chase Hubble.
I mean, good news for our hot dogs, but bad news for the Ironbacks.
You're right. I actually, speaking of the hot dogs, I've never seen that somebody shovel their hot dog so quickly as you did that in between innings there. You were determined to get that done.
I didn't, though.
You didn't finish, no?
I think you're being nobody wants to imagine a person just quaffing down a hot dog, Jesse.
Well,
no need to bring this imagery into the broadcast.
We've had a lot of discussion about a lot of things, I think. I mean, a hot dog probably fits with the repertoire of what we discussed today. Sourdough.
It's tough, though, because the Ironbacks are running out of outs here. They could use a little magic from Chase Hubble here.
That's right. Keep the inning alive and get back to the top of the order. It's down low for ball 2.
You know, it's tough. They got a couple guys out of the lineup tonight who are usually pretty big parts of things.
Yeah.
Carter Shin, a little dinged up, so he's getting a break. Brock Granger.
Right, another big bat that they could probably use right about now. But again, he's on the bench. He could be coming in later in these innings. If that's going to be a little dribbler to Ramos. Flip to second for the out. Phelan looks a little hurt there. However, down go the Ironbacks in the 7th. Still 7-3 as we head to the top of the 8th. Hey, welcome back here to George Taylor Field. We got the top of the 8th inning on their way here. 7-3 Americans over the Ironbacks. Let's bring it up. Nick Past coming up here.
He's been crushing it tonight.
Yes, and again, speak of the devil, Darren just alluded to the crushing. First pitch, swinging, home run. Darren does it again. Darren does it again. Nick pass. That's going to put the score 8-3 for the Americans there. Darren can't even contain himself. He's just calling it as it is today.
He was locked into that. He just was. So full credit to him, and he curveball, first pitch.
That's right.
Crushed it.
That's right. That's going to bring Connor Kiefer up. Second baseman who had a little adventure out there last inning. Error, but redeemed himself with a quick double play. That's a first pitch swinging as well. That's a lazy fly ball. Nobody's going to come away with it. I think Bishop and Mador, no, I think both of them are kind of killing back forward. Not sure who was going to take that one. And in the end, nobody came away with it.
I don't even know. That's single, I guess. Single. Yeah. That was. I feel like that's Bishop's ball. I mean, it's in his house, really.
Yep. Shot there. It's going to be over the head of Mador in second. That's going to go in the second. Kiefer's going first to third. And that's exactly what you don't want here. Stickler gets his first hit of the day. And now runners at first and third. Yeah. No out. And you got, again, Grant Moore coming up.
Yeah. And these guys are so comfortable at the plate. You step in there. You can dive into the curveball. You can dive into whatever it is. I just feel like there's,
Yep.
And, the defense not helping them. That's sort of an issue as well. So
0-1 to Grant Moore. That's a strike. Even things out. 1-1.
I mean, man, just move a guy off the plate.
Yep.
Move a man off the plate. It matters. Makes a difference. You don't want guys coming off the plate just feeling like they're ready to dive in like they're playing a video game. There's a ball coming towards you. It should be a little bit,
Paints the corner again.
Put a little bit of unease in the subconscious there.
Well, let's just saying that now. We just went outside a little bit and got the corner. Maybe go inside here. Down in the dirt. That's going to advance to Stickler to second base. Runners at second and third now. No out. Evens the count 2-2 to Moore. Let's go to
full count. See what he does now. Curveball.
Infield's coming in. Try to get it.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, try to.
It's going to be ball 4. That's going to load the bases here. Nobody out. Evan Core coming up. He is 0 for 3 with a strikeout and was hit by a pitch way back in the third inning.
Here comes Richard Griffin.
Everybody's coming in now to have a discussion on the mound and what they're going to do here.
Story time for Richard Griffin. Talking to Brad Alexander.
You got a pitch hitter here coming in for the Americans. You got Tommy Mathey coming on. He's got a pitch hit for Evan Core.
Tommy Mathey.
We have a pitch hitter now for the Americans, number 2, Tommy Mathey.
Mathey batting 122 on the year. His first at bat tonight.
Bases drunk.
It's a first pitch strike to Mathey.
Man, this game is on the verge of no return for the Ironbacks. It was already pretty far away.
That's a shot up that got there. Mador's just going to be able to make one and get the out at first, but a run will score. Connor Kiefer comes in, the RBI ground out. That's going to make the score 9-3 for the Americans. Runners at second and third stand still for Gavin Boyle coming in. Boyle is 2 for 4 today with a couple RBIs and some runs scored.
Put that left foot right on the front line of the box. Hands over
That's
the
a
plate.
shot to center there. Matt Evans is under for the second out, but another run will tag on from third base and score. Moore gets into third base easily. Stickler comes in to score. We got a 10-3 American score now. That's going to bring Graydon Miller up to bat today. Miller is also 2 for 4. I think there's a lot of 2 for 4 box scores for the Americans today. 2 singles, couple RBIs, couple runs scored.
Everybody's going to feel real good about themselves leaving the park today.
Yeah, I definitely think so. 15 hits in total for the Americans.
Yeah, and you know, you got to tip your hat a little bit here. I mean, we can, and sometimes myself, I can be a little bit hypercritical on the pitchers. So.
That's to tune
goodness.
to left field. That's going over the fence.
Goodness.
That's the second home run of the inning here. That's a 2-run shot. It's going to be 12-3 now for the Americans. That might be putting the game.
Andrew from the Americans broadcast talking about the left field fence being torn up by the Americans, which I don't know if it has because every little balls have gone over it, but they have put some.
They have hit
to his
some
point,
hard
they put some hurt on the
balls
ball
to left field today for sure. For sure, 2 home runs right in the same spot almost this inning. One by Nick Past right off of the lead off of the inning. That one there by Graydon Miller, who again another guy you really don't want to
crushed him.
pitch to too much, and he destroyed that one there for a.
Loves pandas and loves hammering baseballs well over the left field fence.
It's a tough mix
that's
right
our
there.
summation for Graydon Miller today.
It's a tough mix. Panda Bears and home runs.
Panda Bears and home runs. Oh my, oh my.
There's Shane Prey up here now. He is also 2 for 4. 2 singles.
Yeah.
Couple RBIs.
Everybody have a day.
There's a shot to shortstop there. That's going to be the first base. That's going to end the inning. But the Americans put up 5 runs on the board after 2 big home runs, and it is 12-3 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Welcome back here to George Taylor Field. We got the bottom of the 8th inning on our way. 12-3 Americans as they put up 5 runs last inning. 2 huge home runs to left field.
Yeah, they've been putting dents in Merritt and grass within this park, outside the park.
That's right.
On the
Positive note,
street
though,
by the arena. I mean, they've been just hitting the heck out of the ball here.
we
Full
had our
credit to them.
guest announcer making a great call of Matt Evans, though. So there's some positives.
Yeah, absolutely. Why get down? Where's the Merton organist now? Where
Yeah,
we
he's
really
probably
need him.
given up, I think.
Yeah.
He's packing it in, getting ready for the weekend games. It's strike 2 there to Matt Evans.
Matt Evans singled last time up. He's faced some good pitchers tonight.
Well, that's it.
Stays alive.
Fouls and stays alive.
Fouls that off. You can see there's a lot there with Matt Evans. Just really hasn't had a great opportunity to get it off tonight. Let's see.
Just outside ball 1.
It's funny sometimes. You could just tell a lot about what a player has to offer, just the smallest little details.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just how they hold the bat.
That was way
And there's just an
outside
ease
there,
to
but
almost all his mannerisms that kind of belies some underlying strength and power.
reminds me a
there.
little bit
So
of like a Gary Sheffield bat shake at times too. Not as
nice take.
over excessive, but
Nice take. Look at that, fighting back to 3-2. Nice. Oh,
Strike 3 call. That was a
that was
interesting pitch there. Looked maybe a little outside to me, but that's going to be a strike 3 call. First strikeout of the day for Hudson Boring.
That was
Andrew Bishop coming in. Another great call by our guest announcer this
our
inning.
guest announcer is great. He seems very calm over there too, which is a nice change. He's
paying attention to the
in
game as well,
between
you know.
plays yeah. He's a settling presence here in the.
That's right. I didn't hear him once get over excessive over a strikeout either. So
Was the pitch that Evans just struck out on, ball 1.
interesting, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't want to be too hard on
Yeah,
umpires. It's a
12-3 game,
right?
I guess. Bishop with a hot shot to right field. That's going to be a base hit. So we bring up Alex Keene up the bat with the runner on first. Keene is 2 for 2 today with a walk and an RBI.
I still even feel like there's still a hitch in what Bishop's doing. As in, like, he brings his hands down to like parallel with his body and then swings, like gets a handsy swing in there, as opposed to the whole thing flowing through with the same momentum.
Yeah, not a
I
full
don't know.
extension swing, right?
Yeah. Like Alex Keene is like usually what he is exactly what you would hope to see.
All right, fouls off the first pitch for strike 1.
But again, in fairness, the America's pitcher has been really good tonight, so sometimes I'm just talking to say words.
But we've been talking about that a lot with Bishop all season. But it looks like he's just sort of just a little bit behind those pitches, right?
A little tied up in himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to even up the count 1-1 here to Alex Keene.
The fans are still sticking with this thing. They haven't completely given up on this, baby.
No, that just shows and how well the Ironbacks have been doing lately, right? I think the fans are coming out. They're supporting their local team.
Yeah, you know what? This is the first kind of Laffer territory game we've seen in quite a while.
In quite a while, for sure.
14-6 a million years ago. A lot of one-run games, a lot of games going into the ninth where they're
there goes
decided.
Bishop.
Look at Andrew Bishop saying, if you're going to give me a free base, I'll take it.
That's right. Stolen
We know what his
base there.
aspirations to be a big stolen base man. And
he's padding those stats, I tell you.
Sure. Free base is a free base.
That
And
puts
they've
him
hit
at,
into a lot of double plays today, so.
That puts him at scoring position here. 3-1 count to Alex Keene. So a shot to Keene to left field.
Not sure why
that's going to be a
Bishop
base
held up
hit.
there, but
Bishop hulls up a little bit, maybe thinking maybe that was going to be caught, but yeah, runners at first and third with 1 out.
And in fairness to Bishop, him getting home on that wasn't critical.
Right.
You know,
right. Probably the smart play based on the history of the Ironbacks and their base running. Maybe would be holding up on that play.
For sure.
It's going to bring Connor Gaines up, though. He's 1 for 2 today with a walk and an RBI.
Caden's been dialed in for a while.
He has.
Good.
He's been definitely heating up here. I think he's a bat we missed on the weekend there as well, right? Should be strike 1 there to Gaines. Boring, kind of getting into his first little bit of trouble here in the 8th inning for the Americans. Keene taking a huge lead off of first base. He's going to second. He's going to steal. How about that? The base-stealing dream team of Alex Keene and Andrew Bishop.
Like I said, one day they got together in the tree fort. They got some paper out, some pencils, and they're like, this is how it's going to go.
That's
you
right.
and I stealing a lot of bases.
Yeah, it's going to throw everybody else off. He won't know what hit him.
Oh.
Gaines just missed that one and fouls it back.
Staying alive.
0-2 count still on Gaines. You know, the good news is, though, with that stolen base by Keene, they got themselves out of double play position. Fly ball scores Bishop from third.
Yeah, they need to really put together a bunch of bat on ball singles and.
It's a shot, just like I mentioned, outfield. That's going back to Grant Moore. He's going to make the catch. Bishop tags. He's going to come to score. Keene moves to third base. For the score, 12-4 here for the Americans. 2 out. Marcus Butts coming up here. 1 for 3 today. Always a great walk-up song.
It is one of our favorite walk-ups. I mean, it's hard to beat Stompin' Tom.
It is hard.
Stompin' Tom.
It is hard.
But in terms of like pure musicality,
right?
I think
out of all 9, 10 hitters,
wins.
We could use a patented Marcus Butts poke in the left field right now.
It's an all-purpose song. It makes you happy.
It does.
You move, you know. You can still respect yourself at the end of the day.
You know, it's actually a perfect summer song to me. You know,
I agree.
You know,
agreed.
Makes you feel like I want to be sitting on a patio with a cold beer, rocking to that song.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think after this game, I could definitely be using a cold beer. I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
Inside for ball 3.
There you go. They need base runners, however they get them. Doesn't really matter.
Right? As we just were saying a couple batters ago, really the first kind of trouble Boring's been in here.
Yeah.
Trouble hitting the strike zone.
Pitches haven't been that crisp either. You know,
that's a strike.
When the temperature in the room changes as much as it did in that inning, it's sometimes easy for guys to let the guard down a little bit, and suddenly you can't find it.
Take the foot off the gas, just try to get through the game, right?
Yeah, and he's way off the mark there for ball 4.
He's going to walk Butts and put runners again at first and third. 2 outs, though.
Get your rally caps out.
Carter cap. I'm going to turn my brand new Ironbacks hat I purchased today upside down. I did buy one today.
I can see. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you keeping the sticker on with the size.
Well, I haven't actually put it on yet, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know that's a thing.
I did just buy it. The sticker will be removed.
Okay. There goes the runner. Free bases for everybody today.
Another stolen base there. 3 in the inning.
Is it a stolen base or is it defensive indifference? I would say in this league it's probably stolen base.
Oh, and a balk now.
And a balk.
It's been a while since we've seen a balk.
Exactly. And I think the umpires realize it too. It's like, how long has it been since we called a balk?
We got to call a balk now. That's good.
There's almost every game there's a balk.
There is.
And I don't doubt that they are balks.
And that one game we had 4.
We see a lot. Yeah, we've seen a lot of balks. More balks than you really want to see.
That's right.
Nobody talks about balk plays. You know, I remember 5 years ago I was at a game and I saw a balk. And, so it'd be nice to see less of them, but good for the Ironbacks to get a free run out of that. They got free stolen bases.
That's right. Free runs.
Ooh.
That puts Butts there at third base. Carter Kipp now.
1 for 3. (12-5). American Organist is back.
That's a shot. Yeah, the Organist woke up here. Ramos bobbles it, throws it away.
Grab.
What a catch. at
And
first base.
Graydon Miller with a great snag at first base.
Ends
Home
the-
runs, great snags.
That's right. Ends the threats there by the Ironbacks in the 8th. It is 12-5 as we head to the 9th.
Back to George Taylor Field. You got to take a little gander out over the center field fence there, as if rendered by Kakeru Tsukamoto's favorite French impressionist, Claude Monet. A beautiful velvet moon out there in center field. As Caden Wilson takes the mound here, Jesse, for the Niagara Ironbacks.
That's right. Only 4 innings today, but I guess we're trying to see if we can maybe keep things kind of close here and give the Ironbacks a chance in the bottom of the 9th. As we got the score 12-5, Americans lead.
Yeah, I think they cobbled together a few runs there. See how Wilson does. I don't think he's naturally a pitcher. And there's from Caden Wilson to
That's
start
actually a
things
nice
off.
little
Goodness
curveball to
gracious.
start. Nice little curveball to start things off.
Nice. Alan Ramos has been a part of almost all things today. Whoever we are all the periphery. Alan Ramos is the center.
Right.
He's
a lot of action over there at shortstop today in defense, and surprisingly only got 1 hit today.
Wilson overthrew that one a little bit. I really don't know how much experience he's had with pitching. Doesn't look too bad.
No,
I saw him a little bit, like I said, against the Double Days.
Yep.
The Auburn team. I know his last outing was pretty good, just a little high there. I mean, good for him for going out there and getting after it. Ooh.
That's going to be a walk to Ramos, second time on base, third time on base today. He did ground into a fielder's choice. All right. Carmen Panero coming in.
You know, everybody's going to be on the bus talking about their 2 for 4s, and Panaro right now is going to be like just being really quiet and hope nobody points out.
Don't forget about me,
over.
guys. Yeah.
So this is a big moment for him. That's high.
That's a
in right
high
field.
sky ball to right field. Hubble's under it
There
for
you
the
go.
first out.
It's going to be a tough bus ride for Carmen Panaro.
He can say I did get on base though, guys. I did walk today.
I got to run. I scored a run for us, guys.
Don't forget about me.
And then somebody be like, you struck out twice, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so he might just want to be quiet. Like, just be quiet. Don't even mention the walk because
He's
then
probably
he'll
going to
come
sit in the
after
front
you.
of the bus too, you know?
Yeah, you flew out to right field on a position player.
Yeah.
Look at that moon, man.
That is
It just keeps getting more beautiful.
stunning. It is stunning. That's a high pop ball again. Bishop's calling for it. Makes the play. It's quickly 2 outs here for Caden Wilson.
Good for Caden Wilson.
Not doing too bad.
And that was Nick Past.
That
who's
was-
done nothing but crush
just
baseballs all day today.
destroyed. I'm glad you didn't say that till after he
Yeah,
had the
I
at
didn't
bat
notice,
there.
so I couldn't invoke, power from Nick Past.
That's right. That's good news. So Connor Kiefer up. He is, wait for it, 2 for 4 today.
Michael Kiefer's 3 for 4, bro.
Maybe the air.
Okay.
Oh, what did he do in the 6th there?
I'm right beside the official score.
My 6
We
is
have
a
a
chicken
relationship.
scratch.
He doesn't lead me astray. I know what he's calling, so he's 3 for 4.
Okay. Well, he got on base. So
Yes, yeah. Either way, I
He's
don't
been
know
on base-
why do I quibble about these things?
He's actually
Because,
on base 4
usually
times
I'm
today.
wrong on these things anyway. That moon is something, man.
there's a shot
I just
down the
can't-
third base line. Foul.
I mean, that's one of the great things. Again, if you're in the Niagara region and you're not at the ballpark, I don't understand why.
Right.
It's so accessible. The price is perfect.
Mhm.
It's a great little spot. You got lots of room to roam. You can try out different places to sit. You can wave at us. You can participate in the keg roll if you like. You can get in on the bases thing, be accused of being a cheater by the PA guy. There's all sorts of different possibilities.
And you can get some ice cream on the way home because Dairy Queen is right across
Dairy
the street.
Queen.
Caden
struck him
Wilson
out.
strikes out
Good for Caden
the
Wilson.
dangerous Connor Kiefer to keep the Ironbacks within range here as he head to the bottom of the 9th. 12-6. Sorry, 12-5. Welcome back to George Taylor Field. We get the bottom of the 9th. It is 12-5. Americans lead. More importantly, we got a Moon's getting covered, but 10 fans got donuts last inning after a great 9th inning performance by Caden
A lot
Wilson.
of happy people. It's a very vibrant and lively crowd we have here tonight. It's been fantastic.
Incredible. And they're staying. They're here still for the 9th.
Yeah.
This is
Everyone's
fantastic.
sticking around in a 12-5 game. We've got Kevin Delvecchio at the plate. Not happy with the first call.
No, and DeVecchio's still
He
looking
was
for...
not a fan at all. That's a universal sign of, man, are you kidding me?
And DeVecchio's still looking for his first hit in an Ironbacks uniform. Did reach base last inning, but he was due to an error. There's the Oregon player. He's trying to get the rally
Yeah,
going.
Merritt, Oregon player, never gives up. That's quite the...
Fouls that pitch off.
Neither is Kevin Delvecchio. He took a pretty...
I think that's strike two, but
Tasty
unsure
slice.
because the
Swing at
scoreboard's
that
given
one.
up. There we go. 1 and 2. Now we're back on track.
Man, that moon has been incredible.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just inside
Ooh,
ball.
Just missed on that one. Pretty good curveball from Boring. But it's
the moon looking nice. I was just going to say, looking neat now, too, with kind of the clouds kind of fading over the front there.
It's changed how it looked like a billion times in 20 minutes.
It is. It's incredible.
Oh, good pitch.
That's going to be a fly ball. First baseman Miller under it. Makes the catch. That's going to be the first out
I
here.
assume that was a nice catch because it's hard to see behind the dugout, but the umpire was there to call it. Graydon Miller's had an excellent game, and he's pretty much what he does when he comes here.
That's right. Devin Medor coming up. That's 0 for 3 today. Grounded into a double play back in the 7th inning. Would you call that moon a full moon, Darren? It's hard to really tell, I guess.
I think it is. When the cloud's not in front of it, like it's full.
Right. We made a full moon a couple days ago too, actually.
Really?
So, yeah.
Is that like what do they call it? Harvest moon?
Harvest moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little ode to the cap there to Canadian owned Neil Young there, the little Harvest Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Nice shot off the chopper there. Ramos with the scoop.
Nice
Great play. Down to first for the out.
Only appropriate that Ramos keeps doing his thing. That's a tough play. That's a really tough play, and he made it look real easy and smooth. He has that kind of that ease in handling those ground balls.
Yeah, and that was a nice backwards snag too, right? So
with that last second bounce.
Carter Shin coming to pitch hit now. Try to Ironbacks down to the last out. See if Shin can keep the inning alive. Was told Shin may not bat today, but he is, in fact, up here at the plate to keep the inning alive.
Yeah, Boring's got his mojo back for this inning.
First pitch swinging, pops it out the right.
That's it.
Pinero makes the catch, and that's going to end the game. 12-5 final score. Americans over the Ironbacks.
Beautiful night here at George Taylor Field.
Beautiful night. The moon again looking incredible. Let's fade out to that as we end the game. Thanks for coming. We'll see you on Saturday.
July 12th, as the Ironbacks are set to take
See
on.
Zach doing some camera magic right now.